There, there, there she is. There she is.
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind, a journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. That's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Hello and welcome to Indefinite Lunch and Infinite Combinations, number 173, where we're exploring all of the Twilight Zone. Today, we're taking a closer look at A Quality of Mercy and Nothing in the Dark. These are season 3 episodes today, and they're ending the year of 1961 productions that are being released. So we've got December 29th episode and January 5th. And hello and welcome to Scotty R37. How are you?
Hello, I am doing quite well. I was curious, just to throw things, throw a wrench into the works. Is it possible, like when we do the Twilight Zone intro, we start off with the do, and then you've entered the Twilight Zone, and then go into like the CSI Who? It's like, yeah.
You're gonna have to explain the CSI part. I'd never watched CSI in my entire life.
Okay, no, it's never mind. It was a
let's
throwaway
have
joke.
Let's have a post. Well, okay. Then the answer is no.
Okay,
hello,
sounds good.
Hello to Stone Racket. How are you today?
Look in the mirror, Wanda. Oh, sorry. I'm doing okay.
Oh no, not yet. Don't look in
Not
the
yet.
mirror.
I'm jumping the gun.
We're not ready.
Yeah, I'm doing fine
No,
on this
that's a good
terrific
quote.
Tuesday. How are you all doing?
Great. Fantastic.
Super.
And I also want to say hello to Gavin, who was first. Of course, he was first.
He's not
said it was
just first.
my mistake.
No.
Tough choice today. 2 classic episodes. I'd choose Nothing in the Dark because it's more memorable and has Robert Redford, and perhaps a more universal message. Ooh, yeah, definitely.
And I would like to add to that, it's a masterpiece.
It's beautiful, definitely.
Beautifully done.
David. Hello, David. And Snortapoop is Cuber. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah.
Kim.
Kimberly and her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kim. Oh. I'm reading what I see, and I see what I see. FKHC 2005.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
FKHC 2005 says, true story. My grandfather, my father's dad, when he was working for the United Airlines, met and talked to Rod Serling while they waited for their flight. Nice.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what he talked to him about, to Rod Serling. I bet they both talked about their time during World War II. My grandfather was a P-51D pilot.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, Rod Serling was a paratrooper.
Yes, he fought in the Philippines.
In the Philippines, yeah, the 111th paratrooper group, I think, or something like that.
Yes, in our first episode, it's set in the Philippines.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart.
Mhm.
He was involved in the bloody fighting of retaking Manila. So he was involved in that.
And that's where we get all of our envelopes.
Oh my God. Hello to Jacob Ironside.
Hey, Jake.
DJ, we recognize you. Have fun.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, Old Man Bird.
Hello.
And Phantom Outsider. And Brogu. Hey, Brogu's here too. And DJ Play Nice. Great to see you.
Thank you and hello.
And there's DJ Play Nice's note for anybody who needs to talk.
Jill Notes Bot. Interesting.
Yes. That's my other account that is used as a bot for my Mix It Up bot. So to post people who show up, who have a channel, And if your channel
Mhm.
isn't showing up right now, it's because I gotta update it. Hello to Oily Greg. How are you?
Greg.
Oh my goodness. We've got beers for everyone and an extra. I'll claim half of the extra.
But
Hey.
remember, we figured it out. The extra one is for Oily Greg.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. That's right. We discussed that last time.
Mhm.
And
Ooh,
Jason Fox.
he said his grandpa was in the 101st Airborne. Ooh, awesome. Band of Brothers. It was E Company. Dad won 2 Bronze Stars in Korea. Euler Greg says, wow.
I don't know which part my grandpa was in, but he was in Vietnam.
Oh, wow. Vietnam.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, my dad
It's
was
add
in
this year.
World War II, and my uncles on my mom's side, they were in Korea.
I got a lucky Wampa foot at the Battle of Hoth, if that counts anything.
Well, now wait just a second.
That was a what?
A
Okay, so
Wampa
let's
foot. It's like what? A pretty big foot there.
Oh yeah, I need a backpack.
Yeah, I was going to say you need a fanny pack or at least a backpack. Yeah.
happy almost Halloween to everyone. Yeah, just a few more days. Very exciting.
Very scary.
Boo.
Oh,
Ye-
I'm scared.
It was a graveyard smash.
Do the mash.
Hello to everyone in the chat, and I meant to say hello to Snortopoopas Q Burr.
Poopus.
Hello, humans.
Hello.
So,
Oh,
are
we'll
you
get
guys
into
ready
that. Yeah.
to talk about Equality of Mercy?
Yes.
Yes.
It first aired on December 29th, 1961, written by Rod Serling, but it was based on an idea by Sam Rolfe, who was the co-creator for Have Gun Will Travel, and after the Twilight Zone would go on to be part of creating the Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was a really
Yes.
good series.
Yep. He approached Ian Fleming wanting to do a James Bond television series, and of course, Ian Productions had the total rights to the character, and so Ian Fleming created a new character for Sam Rolfe and company, and that was Napoleon Solo.
Yes. And Ilya Kuryakin. I
Well,
like them both.
that wasn't a Fleming creation, but
Oh.
Solo was, and then the rest is history,
Mhm.
where Sam Rolfe and company came up with UNCLE, United Network Command for Law and Enforcement.
I love the
It's,
international cooperation of it, though.
yeah, I thought it should be called the Men from UNCLE because it's Ilya and Napoleon that are teamed all the time,
Oh,
you know. But anyway, let's get to Twilight Zone.
that's a good point. The men from Uncle and the housewives who join them occasionally.
Oh
One,
yeah. Yeah, the ordinary, especially the first season where you have the ordinary citizen that gets involved in espionage.
I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Rolf also wrote an episode called The Calculator, but we never got to see that one.
Yeah, that one had he was assigned I think it was a date in May to have a script, May of 61 or 62, and never came to be. But
Yeah, and
this idea, he was supposed to write the script, but he just let, you know, he was probably had several projects going on at the same time, and he gave it over to Rod Serling, who, of course, knew from his war experiences, he was able to come up with a really good script.
well, yes, this is an example of the author writing what he knows, and Rod Serling very much knows what it's like to be in the war. And it was directed by Buzz Kulik, and it's set on August 6th, 1945, very close to the end of the war.
Yeah, but It's August 6th. Of course, that's when we dropped the A bomb on Hiroshima. But Japanese didn't surrender. And then on August 9th, or excuse me, August 8th, the Russians declared war on Japan. Then on the 9th, they invaded Manchuria. The Russian army defeated the Japanese army. And also on August 9th, that's the second A bomb on Nagasaki. And the Japanese still didn't surrender. And they officially surrendered on August 15th.
They took their time. They really.
Yeah, it took
really
the
did.
atomic bombs and Russia declaring war. It was too much. And Hirohito wanted to surrender on. He'd already decided on August 10th, but the official date was the 15th, and there was actually a military coup attempt that had to be thwarted. But they finally officially surrendered on August 15th.
Oh. So we start this story with the American soldiers overlooking Japanese soldiers who are holed up in a cave. They've got all what's left of their provisions, and they're just not coming out. And even though there are explosions going off everywhere. And here we also see well, let's see if we see him first. A pre-Star Trek Leonard Nimoy. He's basically essentially the communications officer in this episode.
Yeah. He's telling the artillery, he's like, "You're short again, doggone it."
Yeah. Yeah. And can't you put one of these explosions inside the cave?
Yeah, that's their limit. He tells his company there, or platoon, he tells that's their limit. And it's like, what?
Like, does that refer to the limit on their distance? It can only come up just short, or they're out of the daily allotment of munitions?
It's as far as the range can go, unless they move the unit up. But the logistics of that, I'm no expert at that.
And this Albert Salmi plays Sergeant Casarano, and he's the one whom Nimoy hands a phone to, and basically he's thinking, let's just ignore them and go around them.
Yep, which is the best thing to do. Salmi, I really liked the fact that he's not a scallywag or a villain. Finally, and he's actually the mouthpiece in this script. He's the mouthpiece for Rod Serling.
Funny you should say that, because he was a scallywag in Lost in Space.
That's right. He was the very epitome of a scallywag.
He was a
he's really
pirate.
Yeah, he's really good in this role. I really enjoyed seeing him in this episode. I consider his performance the best one.
Yeah, he's educated. He's in fact, educated on being in this war in particular. And so he actually has compassion for the enemy here. They're in there, holed up in that cave, beaten, sick, starved, and yet there's no one in there to tell them that the war's over.
War's over for them, yeah. And then before Serling's narration, I think the last line is "those poor guys." I think he says.
Oh, I forgot to ask, who wants to read these today, or does anybody want specific ones?
I'll hog this one.
Okay. Oh, if you're hogging this one, then Scotty gets the next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just a second here. I need to...
It's all good. Let's share. Let's play.
Let's share. Why can't we share?
I'm taking a cue from you, Scotty, from a few episodes ago where you go, I'm hogging this, so
yeah,
I'll just. But yeah, you go to town on the next one, Scotty.
You're cool.
Okay. It's August 1945, the last grimy pages of a dirty, torn book of war. The place is the Philippine Islands. The men are what's left of a platoon of American infantry, whose dulled and tired eyes, set deep in dulled and tired faces, can now look toward a miracle, that moment when the nightmare appears to be coming to an end. But they've got one more battle to fight, and in a moment we'll observe that battle. August 1945, Philippine Islands. But in reality, it's high noon in the Twilight Zone.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as already mentioned, it's set where Serling himself served in real life, where he was fighting in the Philippines. And during that time, something tragic happened to him. His dad died of a heart attack, and they wouldn't let him have emergency leave. And so that's kind of
Yeah,
sad.
that was scummy. That that was just another thing that embittered him towards the army.
Yeah, and
But
that's fair enough.
yeah, that a sad chapter in his personal life. But it's
Yeah. And
interesting
now
in the preview,
Mhm.
Serling says corregidor, and in the description in Zacri's book, it talks about corregidor, and I'm like, well, the fighting for that was over by March of 1945. We had totally regained control of that island.
Well,
So
that's
so
part
it's
of
kind
the
it's kind of like, well, are we really on Corregidor, or are we on or somewhere else? But
well, that's part of the twist. That's part of what happens at the end or towards the end. So we'll get there. We start in the Philippines and then we get to there and then we come back home.
no,
So
what? Well, I'm
so
not sure. What do you mean? We stay in the Philippines all the time.
uh well, I
Um,
mean Corregidor is different, right?
that's the island that's in the Manila Bay, the opening of Manila Bay in the Philippines. But it doesn't specify in the episode proper in the narration where. So we'll just say somewhere in the Philippines.
Well, no, it
Uh,
does. It does say
Well,
the
I will
cricket.
tell you, but
We'll get
it's
there
part
when we
of the
get.
end. Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. So it all will be revealed today. We'll clarify that. So Lieutenant Cattell is here to take over the platoon, and we get a very young Dean Stockwell. He'll show up soon. They're still checking out the cave.
Yeah, where's Dean Stockwell? I don't see him.
No one can see him
He's
except for
coming up.
Sam.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
oh,
there's
there
Rod.
it is. Yeah, I
Rod,
forgot to get to.
well, come on, Rod, you're there. Help them. No.
Yeah, put the camera down.
Yeah. No, let's.
In the Twilight Zone, Rod can only narrate.
That's right. Yeah, they had. This is according to Leonard Nimoy. They do have a commentary on the Blu-ray from Leonard Nimoy, but unfortunately, it's
Oh.
only for highlights of the episode. It lasts around 6 minutes, and it's not.
Wow.
It's not really. It's you're in trouble when he goes, "Oh, I haven't seen this in over 40
Oh my
years,"
god.
and I'm like, "Oh, good." But he talks about his time in the army
Good.
and his training. And he says he fit right into what was going on here from his training. And but he was he was like, well, it's disconnected scenes and disconnected lines of dialogue. He said, I had to do this to put food on the table. He had a family to feed, and
Mhm.
so he was doing a lot of television work. His time in the army was 54, 53, 54, and then or 54,
And then he was
55.
in
And
this Twilight Zone
by
episode.
the end of 55, he was getting back into the business. And 56, he started getting acting assignments.
Great, and this is one of them.
This is
Phantom
one of them.
Outsider says, the general that the rest of the Japan military wanted to lead them against the emperor decided instead to commit seppuku.
Seppuku.
Seppuku, whatever.
I've never been able to
Wow.
do the seppuku puzzle because I'm not good with numbers.
What? No, wait a minute. That's Sudoku.
That's
Damn it.
Sudoku, yeah. But that's a pun, son.
No, Sudoku's not difficult. I mean, it gets increasingly difficult, but the
Well,
general
seppuku-
concept is easy.
Gavin Blackburn is quoting from General Patton's famous speech. We're going to go through them like shit through a goose. Of course, in the movie, he says
Ew.
crap through a goose. But
Oh, they censored him for the movie.
well, there's some they censored and some they didn't for the movie. But yeah, that speech, yeah, they substituted some words, some colorful metaphors. But yeah, his famous speech.
Colorful metaphors. I love that.
Yeah.
Greek letters, Larson. Hello.
Hey.
If it wasn't for the catastrophic sacrifice made at the Battle of Corregidor in the Philippines, Australia would have been captured by the Imperial Japanese, I'm told. Rest in peace to the greatest generation. And Jacob Ironside says, Dean Stockwell is so good. He's transracial in this one. Yeah, and definitely something James Bond also did.
Ooh, and you only have
Bond
twice,
time.
but not as convincing as Dean Stockwell.
Yeah, Dean Stockwell does way better.
Yeah.
for
In
sure.
fact, Zachary says that he finds Stockwell's performance more convincing when he's the Japanese sergeant.
I thought he was great as both. But
I
that's
thought
just
he
me.
came across exactly how he was supposed to when he first appears. You know, he's just there. He is. You know, he's pristine. He's just like he's right out of the officer school, and he's ready to make his mark, and and it's to me it's the epitome of the gung ho but very green officer.
Very green. He's so young and handsome. I used to seeing him so much older.
Oh yeah,
And-
yeah.
But it's the
And-
classic argument about the for lack of a better term, the grunts and the officers, in terms of it's like Sobel from Band of Brothers, or like Gorman from Aliens. I know these are wildly different references, but in terms of the person who's never actually been in it and is just expected to take over, and based on their rank itself, it should garner respect when the experiences and horrors that the actual platoon, or whatever the group of people here is, because I don't know military.
Well, respect until he doesn't know how to use binoculars.
Yeah. Well, no respect. Even before then, he is addressed as an officer by a man lying on his back, which is, that is something that if you are there.
It's after then.
Is it after that? Oh,
the binoculars are first, because he's got to get the lay of the land and figure out what's happening.
Yes.
And Lieutenant Cattell, he fumbles with those binoculars, and he decides they have to go in and clean them out, which shocks the sergeant who's already assessed the situation. He doesn't want to do that. Pardon me, you've inherited a pretty good outfit, but we're not that good. This is infantry, not kamikaze. Whoa. Using the Japanese words on them.
Yeah.
And then
it's interesting. He gets the lieutenant actually asks the sergeant for pretty much his candid opinion. He gives it to him.
Yeah.
Well, and that, I suppose that's a little bit more of an open-mindedness. I'm willing to discuss it, which is better than most. But again, we are on the path to redemption for our good lieutenant.
You betcha.
There's your Mr. Watkins, played by Rayford Barnes, who's laying down while speaking to Lieutenant Cattell. And
Looks like what I would do.
Yeah.
Cattell doesn't really like this.
Stand up
Yeah,
when
if I
you're
got it.
addressing an officer. It's like, well, why didn't he make them all stand up? But anyway.
That's right. Yeah, he wants to go and attack the Japanese who are wounded in the caves. We'll have to move up and go right in there and wipe them out.
I'd be
And
curious.
so,
Did they remake this
Mhm.
for the 80s Twilight Zone?
Well, according to Zachary, or is it the other book, Jill? It's that very loose adaptation. It's the story in the Twilight Zone movie that involves Vic Morrow, where
Oh, yeah,
he's
okay.
kind of spouting a bunch of racist stuff and intolerance, and then all of a sudden he's put in different scenarios where he is of another race.
Mhm.
But we see him. He doesn't change physically for the audience, but for the surrounding people, he is seen as whatever race the particular vignette calls for.
Yeah,
And
because by
and
then that kind of thing wasn't looked
yeah,
well
and so
upon.
he learns the hard way. But because of the tragedy, they had to re-edit and end it on a different note or a tragic note,
Hmm.
where he is not redeemed. Because the original story, he was going to be redeemed by saving a couple of Vietnamese children.
Yes, who also tragically passed away
Yeah,
in
who
an
always,
unfortunate accident. Yeah.
yeah. But
Mm.
yeah, it's a very loose. It takes the kernel of the idea here in this script and does a little different take on it. But you're right; it is inspired from this particular episode.
All right. Yeah, actually, I don't know. I didn't know about that one. Thank you. And so Lieutenant Cattell and the sergeant, they talk strategy. The sergeant doesn't believe it's wise to do this. He's been here before, and his men, he knows his men aren't going to be able to do this. And Cattell believes otherwise. We can pulverize them within the hour. Just, all we need are some grenades. And the
Yeah, and
sergeant,
he's talking about phosphorus grenades. It's like, oh, that is. I mean, just the phosphorus shells that they fired at the German tanks. That would
Yeah, but I thought
that would ignite. They would go through the ventilation vents and ignite inside and just burn them up. And it's like that should be outlawed. Any phosphorus, anything, because that is
I
just
thought I thought
horrifying.
phosphorus was outlawed.
Well, I'm not up to date on the Geneva Convention, but this is
Nor am
we're
I.
talking
Nor
about.
am I.
Yeah, this is during World War II. They had phosphorus a lot, so it's like
Okay.
I hope it's outlawed, because that's just anytime I hear that, I just think of people burning inside of a tank. It's like, oh,
Yeah, it's
oh,
horrifying.
it's not Redford. This is Dean Stockwell.
Yes.
And very often they would see Japanese soldiers with white flags and still engage them, even though they would, Japanese soldiers would, as Brigadier Larson says, or as more well described earlier by the sergeant, kamikaze.
yeah,
The sergeant tries to say this isn't like a football game because he's apparently the lieutenant's talking about it like it's just a game they can win real quick. And the sergeant says, you have to remember you haven't even been shot at yet. So he's
yep,
coming late into the war.
yeah. He's got him pegged just perfectly. It's like
Yeah.
you've never been under real fire, Mister.
hmm
But it's also, I think that, we're intended to pin a lot on the lieutenant, but he was sent there for a reason. He was sent there after the pleas or requests of the sergeant. It's like, can you do better with the artillery? And they're like, no. And so they sent an officer to go say, all right, let's just do this. And the reality of the situation is occurring. But the the mission itself isn't like the lieutenant's personal pet project. It is orders given to him and following orders and whatnot. Like,
it is his personal thing. He's not given those orders. It's not clear at all. He's just a replacement for 3 previous lieutenants that had been killed, and so he's just there, and now he thinks he knows better. That's the gist that I got. I didn't get any. There's no dialogue talking about these are my orders and you men are going to follow them as well, and nothing like that. It seems,
but I think that
the dialogue from the higher ups is only represented by Nimoy holding the phone, but we don't know what they're saying.
Right. But I do think that like this lieutenant does not necessarily exist in a vacuum. He was given orders.
I don't think so.
You don't think that a lieutenant in the infantry was given orders as to what to do when he arrived?
No.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
He's a replacement for the previous. I think they say there's 3. They've lost 3 commanders, and
yes,
he's like. It just seems like it's a personal vendetta, or he's trying to make a name for himself, just like the sergeant characterizes. He says, you're just here to try to get into the war before it's over, to make a name for yourself.
Yeah, that, and also the soldiers seem to agree with you, Stone Racket, because Hansen, who is Nimoy, says this one is bloodthirsty, and Hannah Check says, "You don't think he'll want to stop us to scalp him?" Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
yes,
it's like, DJ Play Nice says phosphorus grenades are not outlawed, but their use is limited now.
Fair enough. Thank you, DJ.
Interesting, but I'm sure the phosphorus shells are outlawed. I don't know if DJ has any info on the phosphorus shells, but yeah.
Okay, so I want this one read. Scotty, can you read this? Because they're all willing to do their jobs, but they're war weary. And Watkins says this after he's told to clean his gun.
Hang on, clicking.
Before, or maybe this is before the gun. I don't know. Oh yeah, no, this is after. Yeah, I was right the first time.
All right, let's see if I can do this. We're about 24 months up on you. Now, we've seen enough dead men to last for the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives, Lieutenant, and then some. Now, you got a big yen to do some killing? Okay, we'll do some killing for you, but don't ask us to stand up and cheer.
And yes, so then after this, they start covering themselves up with mud to prepare to follow through with what Lieutenant Cattell is asking them to do.
I just had a horrible thought. What if in that cave was the predator?
Well, then it's good that they're covered with mud.
Exactly. The heat signature's gone. Great. Anyway, moving on.
Silly. Yeah.
That is silly.
We're crossing the streams. We're crossing the genre streams here.
Too many genres. You're right. I'm sorry.
Too many genres.
Yeah, there's a bit more dialogue, but I cut it down to what's important here.
Yeah.
And so they're preparing for the encounter. And the lieutenant asks the sergeant whether or not the flamethrowers have arrived. They have.
Oh dear.
Yeah, flamethrowers. That's how serious this is.
Well, but that's also like the lieutenant does, if you get a certain amount away, like I'm surprised there aren't rocket launchers or bazookas, or I would just, I don't know. I've never been in combat situations, so for me to say, "No, just move up, shoot in," it's me talking about it like it's, Halo. It's I've played Call of Duty, so the reality of the situation is quite different.
Yes, Old Man Bird says by the UCMJ, enlistees are not allowed to criticize an officer. It specifically says the truth is not a defense, but that's exactly what happens in this scene.
Yeah.
And so in this scene, that first Lieutenant Cattell says they're going to move during the next mortar barrage, And the sergeant admits that the lieutenant is a little too much vinegar for him. And I think it's because the lieutenant is encouraging this. And he reinstates his opinion they should bypass them. There's only 20 of them. They're sick. They're half starved. They can just move around them and they won't bother. Neither have to bother each other. But Cattell says, I think you've either got battle fatigue or you're chicken. And Sergeant
yella.
says, well, maybe neither, or maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But he's definitely war weary. But I don't think he's
Definitely.
a coward.
No.
No.
That
But
was
they're
a
getting
cheap. That was a cheap shot from the lieutenant. It was like them's fighting words. No.
Yeah. Well, and here's just a bit about the set. This was already a jungle set on the Hal Roach Studios, at the Hal Roach Studios. And
Yeah, probably used by Combat and other shows that needed the jungle set.
hmm.
And Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and a few years later. No.
Okay, so could you read for Sergeant Casarano Stone Racket? We've got
For Casarano.
Yeah,
I believe that's
we've
how you
got some lines
pronounce it.
here. I like. Yeah, we've got some lines.
All right.
Yeah.
You're a pea green shave tail just fresh from some campus. You're afraid you won't bag your limit or worse, all shook up because somebody might spot you as a Johnny-come-lately instead of a killer of men. You want to prove your manhood, but it's a little late in the day and there aren't many choices left as to how to do it. It all boils down to that lousy cave full of sick, pitiful, half-dead losers and a platoon of dirty, tired men that have their craw full of this war.
And Lieutenant Cattell responds, "You're a lousy soldier." And that goes for the rest of these poor, sad, sensitive, sick boys you want me to bottle feed. When you fight a war, you fight a war. And so basically the sergeant's upset that they always send in someone at the end of the war to rack up the kill count, I think is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
And it seems pointless to him. So it's about the futility of everything. And how many men have to die before you're satisfied? And the lieutenant says, offhand, I'd say all of them, no matter who they are or where they are. If they're the enemy, they get it. First day of the war or last day of the war, they get it.
That's foreshadowing, Jill. Oh,
It
spoilers.
It is. Well, and it's foreshadowing. Well, and it's also it comes back. It is repeated. It's a callback.
Comes right back, right in his face.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then everything suddenly changes. It's suddenly a Japanese camp, and it's suddenly now it's
he drops his binoculars, and then all of a sudden, reaching down, picking him up, everything's changed.
Yeah, suddenly he's now Lieutenant Yamuri, who is disturbed because just a minute ago he was not Lieutenant Yamuri, he was Cattell. And so the tables have turned somehow, and now the Japanese seem to have the upper hand, looking down on Americans holding up in a cave. And he's so frightened, he runs away from the entire situation.
Yeah, it's a jump back in time because it's May of 1942. He finds out.
Yes, it's a jump back in time to 1942, and he expects it to be August of 1945. And so he's upset. He doesn't find that out yet. Right now, he's just running wildly straight to the American camp, and he only gets cover just in time to not be killed.
And that's where they do show the American supply crate that says it is the island. What was the island that you mentioned?
It does say Corregidor on it.
It does say Corregidor on that one.
Yeah,
but it isn't. But Corregidor is not mentioned in the modern,
right,
or in 1945. But in 1942, it is mentioned as being Corregidor.
Yeah, but the thing is, the cave is identical. The trees are
Yeah, in the
identical. So it's
Twilight
kind of
Zone.
in the Twilight Zone.
So,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
believe
it's
your
the
lying
I
Twilight
eyes.
was I
Zone.
was thinking that it's it's Corregidor 3 years later, the same scenario, but uh you know
Well,
we'll
I
let
think you
that
and I
go.
have different I think you and I have different interpretations.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
let it go. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah, thank
gonna
you.
I'm not gonna it's
Well, we
it's
can't let
it's
it go
it's
until
de-
I
it's
show you the canister.
it's
Where
definite.
is it?
It's definite in the flashback
Yeah.
in this sequence, and it's indefinite in the other. So we'll just leave it at that.
No, Jill, it was right at the beginning when he runs towards the cave, and then
But I got
uh
it on my slides.
oh, you
Did you
got it?
see it in
Okay.
the slides?
No,
Did you
I did
see it?
not yet.
Okay, so
There's just one shot of the American soldier by the crates that you had. That was all
Hmm.
I saw.
No, but and Lieutenant Cattell does look at the crate, and it says Corregidor.
oh, I
Okay.
was sure I got it. Oh man, where is it?
Well, while you're looking at that, Jacob Ironside says they did a good job with the makeup. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought they did a great job too, because I was curious when the transition happened from American to Japanese soldiers, and then I saw that it was jarring. Again, this is 2025, based on everything that I've been yelled at for. It's like, oh, he's doing yellow face, and it's like, well, no, I think it's actually it's a good job on the makeup, and he does
Yeah.
play it not stereotypically but
Right.
authentically. Like I think Dean Stockwell would have done it as
Yeah,
truthfully as possible, and then also I think Rod Serling would have written it
Yeah.
as truthfully as possible at the time as well. It's just because
Yeah.
you're on a different side of the war doesn't necessarily mean that you're not people.
Yeah. It's in this instance, the as you put it, yellow face is justified because it's the point of the episode, the moral.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it's I don't. Oh my goodness.
This is from the special edition DVD.
Yeah. Gary Lockwood as Gary Mitchell.
No, Jill's looking for the crate. She is looking for it specifically, and in the meantime, we get Gary Mitchell.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think
I think I think it's justified. Because of the moral point of the episode. And it there we go. Excellent. Corregidor.
mhm.
And it brings the lieutenant around when he is brought back to the present day with his platoon.
Yes, yeah. And so I don't take this as being sort of racially insensitive or
did have
I
it.
think
There it is. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Scotty. It's the
it's a
present.
juxtaposition.
Yeah, the presentism doesn't apply for this episode because of the moral point that Sterling's going for.
Yes.
Wow, Jill,
Okay.
your slides are moving.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I didn't have it. Okay, hold on. Give me a moment. I gotta find my slides.
Well, we're back to Gary Mitchell
Yes.
and James R. Kirk. Oh, I mean,
oh no, Gary Mitchell just forgot that it was T.
yeah, he's not perfect.
He's not even in almost godlike form. He's
Well, he's the thing with that is man is not holy. So, we're jumping ahead now.
uh-oh, yeah. That was
What?
pretty fast.
Ooh, wow. Okay, here we
Okay.
go. Here we go.
Yeah, let's just do this. Okay, so after all that, to explain where we are geographically to Stone Racket, we needed a canister. So he runs right to the caves and he's almost shot down. Murray's man follows him, and they think, "Oh wow, he was so brave to
He was
run
so
right into
brave, but
them."
he was running away.
Well, that's not how they saw it, and
Of course, I
he
don't blame him one bit. He's like, "What the heck's going on here?"
Mhm.
exactly. He doesn't even know anybody here,
Yeah,
and Sergeant Yamazaki introduces himself and tells the lieutenant that's me. It's 1942 instead of 1945. And so another officer asks him if he's sick because he definitely looks like it. He's in shock
yeah,
at this change of events and the teleportation to a different reality in which he's a Japanese soldier instead of an American one. And he starts to explain that this officer who says he'll have to leave him behind because they don't have the ability to care for anybody who's sick. And
Well,
so
and that's
Murray decides to pretend he's okay, even though he's sweating bullets. And I think that's
yeah,
some really good acting.
yeah.
well, and he does express the terror, and I do appreciate that he doesn't
Exactly.
go into detail. He's like, "What did you call me? What day is it? What year is it? Where are we?" And like in terms of that, even when transferred into this life experience of a Japanese lieutenant, he doesn't disclose anything about the American army or the American position. Like he is very close-lipped, and he doesn't trust what's going on. And I do like that only because of when he does, and again, spoilers for 1961, when he transfers back to his own existence, he does confide in the sergeant, and he's like, something happened. That's as far as we get.
Yeah,
But in this one, he's like, I'm not going to tell you anything. I just don't know what's going on.
yeah,
He was about to, but then he realized, then survival kicked in and he realized that he's just going to sound crazy. And
Well, and
so,
also, yeah, maybe that's why I give him a little bit more credit in the opening, is just because he still maintains his loyalties in this alternate reality that he's been thrust upon.
well, speaking of alternate reality, we're also meeting this other officer here. I didn't capture his name in the story, but he says that they will take prisoners if any surrender. Oh, and we get a close up in his mouth. But that this is because he's repeating all of Catel's words back at him. He's telling Cattell that he's gonna lead the battle, the attack. And Yamuri is concerned about the wounded warriors. And so he decides that, oh hey, why don't we bypass him? So now he's starting to sound like his own sergeant.
Mhm.
And
Well, and Jill, I
so
do want to
wait,
clarify something, just for my
wait,
own personal. Yeah, no, please,
I
please,
just
please.
wanted
After you.
just this officer is saying, okay, so here, where is he? I want this one. Okay, so he says the identity of the men in the cave, they are Americans, they are the enemy. Healthy, wounded, walking, lying, they are the enemy. The Japanese army does not bypass. And odd that you should require the reminder, but the comparative health and well-being of the enemy, his comfort or his discomfort, the degree of his anguish or incapacities have no more bearing on a military action, a tactical move, or a decision of command than the fortunes of an anthill that you step on when we move out to attack. They are the enemy. If we enter the cave and they are lying on the ground, I can assure you that I will have no more compunction about making them a head shorter than I would stepping on that anthill. So basically, getting all his words thrown right back at Cattell by this officer.
Yes. And just the thing that I wanted to sort of clarify is I know that the phrase just following orders is applied to a very horrific experience. I don't think that applies to battlefield infantry. Just following orders is advance to here, continue. advance to here, continue, retreat, continue. Like that's what that is. But at least those are enemy combatants. And so I wasn't attempting to imply just following orders as it is, again, when we discuss something like the Nuremberg trials, where it's like, I was just following orders. And it's like, yeah, but that was industrialized extermination of a civilian population. That's different than
Yeah.
I'm carrying forward orders.
Yeah, it is different from killing other combatant soldiers who have
They have
are
guns, you have
who are
guns, let's
fighting.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
We are advancing. We're not holding anything. We'll let the enemy do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's
We're
still
going to go through the
morality
enemy
there.
like crap through a goose. Oh, sorry, I'm channeling Patton again.
Uh-oh. So, okay, so Yamuri won't concede, so he gets slapped, and everybody moves out without him. But before they go, Yamuri has the last words. And let's have Stone Ragger read them for us. And here.
What you do to those men in the cave, will it shorten the war by a week, by a day, by an hour? May I ask the captain what is his pleasure? How many must die before he's satisfied?
And of course, the officer responds that they're all to be destroyed. First day of the war, last day of the war, we destroy them.
Yeah,
so they leave him behind.
echoing his bloodlust that we saw in the first half of the episode.
Again,
Yes, and now he's seen the other side.
What?
Yeah, there's a bit of bloodlust in terms of wanting to be able to say that he did something during the war.
Right.
And he just, even though he just got there.
But that's the assessment of the rest of the platoon. That's not, I don't think, explicit in his. Maybe it is. I see.
I think
maybe
it
I'm
is,
clouded. Yeah, maybe I'm clouded by Dean Stockwell.
But he's getting it thrown back at him by
which is how he learns.
This commanding officer, and yeah, he's redeemed.
Well, no, he's not. No,
I think
he doesn't. Redeemed. He doesn't get redeemed. He gets called off of the.
He almost gets redeemed. He almost gets a chance.
I guess the redemption is something for the audience to.
I think it's changed him for the rest of the duration of what it won't last long, because just a few more days of the war. But I think he is a changed.
So what's the mechanics
individual.
in this episode? Did he just like have a seizure, or did he really go back in time and become a soldier? What
it's the Twilight Zone, Jill.
Yeah. Okay.
He really jumped back. He did a quantum leap.
No. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
And he was put in a situation for a point.
Spidey.
And we all know who caused this. It was that pesky Rod Serling that was just off screen there. And no,
he could have put a stop to this anytime he wanted.
Yeah, it was it's all Rod's doing.
I wish it was Christmas and I was in a barrel to go to an orphanage with the other toys.
Which Scotty, which toy would you want to be in the barrel?
The bagpiper. The
bagpiper. Yeah.
At least then I'd be able to entertain myself. Torture everyone else around me, but anyway.
Yeah, I'll be the hobo.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, there's only one girl. I don't get to pick. Okay,
the ballerina. That's cool.
So Lieutenant Cattell is now back to himself. We know that he recalls having been in the enemy's shoes because he's surprised to be back in his own body. So he remembers what just happened to him. So he has learned from it.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's just about to explain to the sergeant that he agrees with them now that they should bypass. However, before Cattell,
look at that face. That tells us everything.
Yeah. However, before Cattell can give the orders to bypass the caves, a higher up order is given via
Yeah.
telecommunications. They want us off the hill. Colonel Hardin at headquarters, the Air Force dropped a bomb on Japan this morning. They call it an atomic bomb. And the sergeant sarcastically notes to the lieutenant that they'll probably get another time in the future. He'll get another time in the future to satisfy his bloodlust. But
It's like, well, guess again.
yeah, and the lieutenant says, I hope not.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like it does. I think it does last long because he doesn't look like a man who's going to be signing up to be a part of the Korean War.
Yeah. 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 He
So
says,
here's
I hope not. Then he says, doesn't he say, I hope to God that something like that?
yes, he does.
Uh,
Yeah, he does make a
he re-
appeal to God, definitely.
yeah. So yeah, I
And
agree,
here's
Scotty. I don't think he's going to be volunteering for the next war.
Right.
no, he's learned his lesson just from that. And Stoner, can you please read the closing?
Certainly. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice. But applicable to any moment in time, to any group of soldiery, to any nation on the on the face of the earth, or as in this case, to the Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just basically he had to see what it was like to be on the other side to realize what's going on, what's really going on,
Yeah,
since he didn't have the benefit of actual experience.
yeah.
I can't believe you don't know the CSI stinger from The Who.
Sorry,
But
I've never watched CSI.
All right, we'll
I
talk about it later.
I want to run this by both of you in the Mark Scott Zachary Twilight Zone companion book. Zachary considers this a lesser work than the Purple Testament, and I don't really agree. I like both episodes. I think they both have something to say about the war. So I don't really agree with Scott on that one. I'm not sure what you two how you two feel about that, but
That's a good question.
I'm sorry. What was the
the Purple Testament is the World War II scenario where one of the officers can see who will die next. He can see it in their face, and
right. I recall.
Oh, that one was very good.
With
But
Warren
this is
Oates.
a different.
Yeah, it has Warren Oates
I
at
think
the
it's
end as
I
the
think
chief.
they're different enough.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Purple Testament is maybe more haunting. Stays with you maybe a little in a different way, but I think they both have something equally important to say about the war or about war in general. Yeah.
I would say that the only similarity would be the war, like, because I do enjoy the I like the transference of being on one side and then walking a mile in the shoes of the enemy, and that is certainly not what the Purple Testament did. The Purple Testament was how can I live with myself while sending people off to war when I know for certain that they're going to die.
Right.
And this is instead of individual, it is more collective of like people are people. So why must it be that you and I must get along so awfully?
Yeah, I like you're saying. I think they complement one another. So I think they're both equally important, and I'm glad Serling wrote both of those teleplays. So yeah.
But and I'm sure, and well, no, I'm not sure. I can only suspect that there are people who still held prejudice and animosity towards Japanese people in 1961 based on their own experiences during World War II. And I'm sure that would have transferred over into other forms of prejudice in engaging in the Korean War. Like,
Yeah.
people are people. And so you are going to identify with that. But this is, I wouldn't say this episode is something where it's like, yeah, but they had, and they don't say it explicitly, but it's like these are just guys. They had wives, family. They didn't want to be there either. You didn't want to be there. And so the enthusiasm, maybe it is knocking a peg out from under the enthusiasm for victory in war and wanting to kill. And as Leonard Nimoy's character said, this one's bloodthirsty. He wants a scoreboard, quote, like paraphrasing. And so I do find that I don't.
It's remarkable.
This Cree fella is getting a little opinionated, in my opinion. I kid.
It's really quite impressive.
That Mr. Sci-Fi.
That we're like a script like this is coming from someone who was actually there.
Yeah.
In the midst of it, and he can take that. He can still take a step back and go, look at, war is it's hell.
War never changes,
and it's like, I just find it remarkable, because there's others that probably, even in his same outfit, that still were grumbling about the Japanese, and 61, 62, and even beyond that.
And Lieutenant Cattell had to see it happening to Americans when he was like, "Oh no, this is happening to Americans," and then he realized how cold-blooded it sounded to speak that way towards Americans, and now he can transpose that to the Japanese, and now he knows compassion.
Especially the situation. It's the same situation with you got soldiers holed up in a cave, starving. They're and it's like, just go around them. They're not a threat. Just go around them.
Yeah. You don't have to kill them.
Yeah, and it's really distressing to see actual documentary footage of the Pacific Campaign, where the American soldiers are basically waiting for not only the soldiers, but women and children to come forward to be taken out of that situation. But they were self-deleting themselves because they were under the the propaganda that the Japanese received, that we would, we had no mercy at all. We would be slaughtering them. There was, no prisoners of war, that kind of thing. It's like, that's not at all the reality. We weren't, treating prisoners of war that way, as a rule.
I don't want to get into the historical accuracy of either the European or Pacific theaters, but I have heard stories that, and I think it was almost gracious of the script to say, if they want to surrender, let them. But from what I understand, in the Pacific theater, the Japanese were not as forgiving.
This is true. I mean, there are exceptions on both sides. There was some horrific things on both sides, but there were Japanese soldiers that did surrender, and that weren't of the, didn't adhere to the code of Bushido to the letter, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, let's move on.
I do appreciate the nuance of that, and I want to catch up with the chat before we move on to Nothing in the Dark.
Oh, can I go have a quick smoke while you're talking to the chat, because they love you better than they love me?
Well, but don't be too long.
I won't be
Yeah,
too
you
long.
got to come back for the next episode, Scotty.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the Brad Pitt episode.
Okay, so Jacob Ironside, we're back to talking about the phosphorus shells. And the legality of using white phosphorus shells in war depends on how they are used and the target. So I guess they are not specifically banned, but they're restricted. The military still uses white phosphorus shells, but not as chemical weapons. They are used for military purposes like creating smoke screens for cover, marking targets, and as an incendiary.
Yeah, that's the incendiary part that scares me. Because
Mhm.
that's how they got the German tanks disabled, was basically burning the men inside with a phosphorus shell.
Gavin is describing how Cattell as your Murray just ran through right to the cave. Go over the minefield under the cover of daylight. Last thing they'll expect.
That's right. We're going to catch them off guard by doing exactly what they don't expect.
That must be why they thought he was brave, because it said because
Yeah,
the
it's like
Greek letter says.
Greek letters. Yeah, it's basically, going in there, one man force. I can take them on. Yeah.
And DJ Play Nice says that's a good distinction as Hollywood continued to use Anglo actors and other roles using makeup for
Yeah.
years.
That's yeah, there's so many great Asian actors that they could have utilized, and then other
Definitely.
other uh, ethnicities and races. It's just some of it's just is ridiculous.
Normally, I agree with that, but in this case, it was beneficial
Yeah,
to keep it the same
yeah,
person because then you could tell that he
right,
has transformed
right.
into
It's
a
it's
Japanese
this
soldier.
morality play kind of demands that it be the same actor, and but like there's an episode of Hawaii Five-O where Mark Leonard is in makeup, and it's just horrendous.
This is
It's
oh, Mark
embarrassing,
Leonard.
and it's just cringeworthy. So there's times where it's like, just
Mm,
hire an Asian actor. Come on.
yeah, it's not always well done. No.
Yes. This is a strange episode of Quantum Leap, says.
It is. We finally came to that conclusion a little later.
Now, do you just read it off, or is this an acronym for something? FKHC 2005.
I think
So,
it's a hockey
oh,
team.
hockey. Okay.
He is so shocked. Yes, he is. The markings on the Japanese uniforms look like the whale and Yutani logo
Oh,
upside down.
oh yeah,
Oh, I still have it up.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
got a point. Yeah, yep. Mm.
You become a little less bloodthirsty when your loyalty is on the other side. Yes, that's exactly how he came to that realization of what he was doing, and
I
that
just I
people
like
are
how
people,
yeah, I like
just as Scotty was saying.
how the sergeant uh, on the Japanese side, uh, he was I he's nothing like now what's the rank of the officer here on your slide on the right? I because is he still a lieutenant? Lieutenant
I think he's a
Yamari,
captain.
and then he's a captain. Now the captain is, you know, the sergeant is not like the captain. His demeanor is totally different. And I like the juxtaposition between the
Well,
Japanese
actually,
officers, because
now
he's
your Murray is more like the sergeant.
yes, yeah, and the sergeant, you don't get the idea that the Japanese sergeant is bloodthirsty and demanding, and then you get the captain, and you get that and then some, you know. So I like the juxtaposition just on the Japanese side
Yes. So
between the
I,
attitudes of the men there.
yes, yes, the jumbling of the
Hmm.
personalities. It really works
Canadian
for the morale to
Spider-Man.
tell.
He
Yeah, he
says
says, "Oh,
Ohio.
Ohio."
That's good morning. Oh yeah, Ohio. That's good morning in Japanese. Good to see you, Anti-Derva Jill and Scotty and Stone. That's me.
Yeah, yeah, and I wanted to see if I was pronouncing that right. Ohio. Well, I've always known that as a state in the US. I didn't
Yeah,
realize it was good morning in Japanese. That's what a wonderful thing to learn. And
Ohio.
it's
And then
probably the reason I don't know this is because the Japanese restaurant I go to doesn't open up until 4 p.m. And so and so they would never
yeah,
tell me Ohio.
do they say konnichiwa?
Yeah, and domo arigato and
Oh,
doidashimashite.
very good. You say arigato like we say arigato.
I do my best.
Well, that's from Kill Bill.
So let's see. Where is this chat? I lost it. Here it is.
Uh-oh.
So Nuremberg. Okay, totally. Okay, that's what you were I had no idea what you were responding to because I was like, what is Scotty talking about? We're not talking about that. But
Yeah,
No, no, no.
he's referring to
okay, I get it
Nuremberg, right?
now.
The
I get it
Nuremberg
now.
trials. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's right. That's right.
I appreciate, yeah, and I think
Yeah,
DJ Play Nice and I were on the same page in that, but I
yeah.
was just sort of because again, there are
Mhm.
generalizations about World War II, there are generalizations about certain aggressions and certain, like, I do believe in a strong military and I do believe in the chain of command, but you can't conflate the chain of command and orders with what was
Yeah,
famously
I think so too because
disregarded.
Right.
that's how the military works.
Yeah,
Right.
and but
Yeah.
the defense at Nuremberg was, I was just following orders, and there is a certain
Mhm.
situation where it's like that doesn't hold water, especially
Right.
again when you're talking about industrialized genocide.
Yes,
Exactly.
agreed. I get it now. Okay,
And
thank you for reminding me.
there is trying to think
I'm trying to think
terminology and
too.
the exact
Problem when we're all
technical
trying to think at once. Let's see what's
technical
going on.
thing of when even in the field, if you're given an order uh, that you know is
Oh,
you
are
know
you trying to say kind of like when you go to the doctor and you could say against medical advice, can you do that in the war too?
well it's I was thinking that there was a regulation where there was a order given by a superior officer to that it was morally corrupt, it was like they can defy that or
Yes. Yes, that's that's what I'm trying
they're
to say too.
yeah, I'm trying to
But
think
I'm
of the technical because there is an out in the field,
and that's good.
where it's like, wait a minute, and it's
Uh,
like that and then, well, and now I'm thinking about the horrors of the Vietnam War, and it's like,
So
where but anyway.
let's say instead then let's say hi to the Trek reviewer.
Oh, hi, Trek
Hey,
reviewer.
Hopefully they're still here. And I was looking, I had to open up my YouTube chat to figure out who you were because it's just a symbol. You're the glove cleaner. So
Why
TZ61 is the glove cleaner.
why is YouTube
hey,
changing our usernames? That's weird. What's going on
Mhm.
there?
it is
They're
strange, and it's been happening more and more widespreadly.
they're
Really?
forcing us to
Widely
use the
spread.
handles, the handles, the unique handles that we are given or that we create for ourselves. And TZ61, obviously Twilight Zone 61, yeah.
Yeah.
But the glove cleaner is a cool name. So I wanted you to remember who you were. And Entropy Manor says with the original Twilight Zone, even being one of the lesser works, is pretty good. Well, this was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, I
I
thought
think
this
so.
was a solid one.
Hmm.
There are episodes that oh well.
We'll get
or,
there when
or
we get there.
we'll get there when we get there. Where it's like,
Herc-
why did they commit this to film? It's like,
Oh man, I haven't felt like that about any episode really yet. Herc 130, hello. Wow.
yeah. Well, I'm a snob, so no.
Oh, okay. Sinister, hello, Cynthia, Cindy. All the different names. I hope you're well. Hi everyone, just testing my username. You're all aces. Oh yeah, that's Scotty.
Yes.
That is Scotty.
And,
I can see that is Scotty definitely.
Yes.
so Jill,
Ca-
yes,
Yes.
keep going.
Can you read this from Phantom Outsider?
Phantom Outsider says, oddly, my grandfather, who became a U.S. citizen in 1926 while Philippines was still a U.S. territory during World War II, had to wear a pin to work at Mac Motors saying Filipino during WW2. And what was it? We watched something recently, and it was a person. I saw it recently. I don't know if it was on your channel, Jill, or if it was on someone else. And it was a person wearing a shirt, or they had taped on their back, and it was not a Jap, so that they would not.
Right, because yeah.
What? Wait, what just happened?
They had to have special. They sometimes, like Scotty was saying, they made a makeshift identification, but here the Phantom Outsider was saying his grandfather had a specific tag so that people would not mistake him for a Japanese, because the Japanese, unfortunately, under a Democratic administration, were put in internment camps.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
and
Yes. That was an unfortunate thing that
my
happened in
mother,
America.
my mother was out in Fresno, California. My father was stationed out there during World War II in that area, and my mother worked for the community school district, and her best friend out in California that she made was a Japanese woman, and it was very upsetting that she was torn away because she and her family had to be put in an internment camp, and that's something that my mother that was one of her.
It happened to George
Yeah.
Takei too.
Yes.
He has a whole
Yes.
play about it.
Oh, yeah. That's
Like what
right.
I
Yeah.
said.
So Jill, I sent you a video clip, and I would like you to play it after I say this, if it's not too much trouble.
It's a little bit trouble, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Thank you. I
'Cause
appreciate your.
The reason why it's trouble is because I can't share my screen without an echo. But
Oh,
we're,
right.
we're gonna do it.
Okay.
And so I actually downloaded it and uploaded it, and now I'm gonna play it right now.
Okay. So, but I have to do I got to do a little thing first. Okay.
Okay.
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. That's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
Well, congratulations. You got
It
what you
tickles
wanted.
me. It tickles me so much.
I hit my mute immediately.
Yeah, I know. Because, I'm sorry, you don't like rock and roll.
I think Guy Labardo is one swinging dude, and so is
That
Lawrence
is-
Welk.
Swinging dude.
I'm no, I
You're
I
not
grew
that
up-
old in old heels.
No, I'm not that old, and I like rock and roll just fine. Just certain kinds of rock and roll.
No, I know. Anyway, I just thought it would be a fun juxtaposition, or like like anachronistic sort of.
Okay, so Herc 130. I don't know if I said hi yet, but hello to
Hey,
Herc
Herc.
130.
I want to
and
read
Wes
that.
Cagle. Oh, you do? Okay.
Herc 130 says, "This is true. We do love anti-derivative Jill more than Scotty R37. Fact."
I knew this.
Oh
I knew
dear.
this.
Herc, he's cut you to the quick, Scotty.
I
Well,
got there first.
but Scotty said it first.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
true. He agrees with it.
No one can say that Scotty doesn't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
will you
Spidey
stop talking
says,
about the war? You started
I've
it.
been
No,
to
we
the
didn't.
War
Yes, you did.
Museum and temple in Tokyo. Even though I look like an American, I felt absolutely no resentment there from anyone, staff or Japanese visitors. Nice.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
that's wonderful to hear. And then uh, the I've read stories where the men that the American and British soldiers that were tortured by the Japanese, and years later meeting and forgiving their torturer. And they met years later where they put all that behind them and became friends.
Yeah.
So it's like, whoa.
Well, and being in Ho Chi Minh City and seeing the Vietnam War Museum or the American War Museum, I don't think that I got anything specifically directed towards me, but I certainly felt uncomfortable the entire time, being like, "Oh, so Caucasians, you're not a big fan." So,
Oh, you've
Yeah.
been
So
been
it's
there?
not so good.
yes, I have.
Oh, that's cool.
No, it's very depressing.
I mean, it's just
Especially when you
I've
can't ride a motorcycle by yourself.
I've
Oh,
never
shush.
been outside the continental United States. So whenever anyone talks about being in another country, I think that's pretty cool. But I know what you mean, though. It being in a particular museum, seeing what you saw. Yeah, I understand.
So yes, we are getting off the topic of war, although it is a very interesting topic because we do have another episode that we want to get to before our time runs out. And so we are going to move on to Nothing in the Dark. And of course, I was expecting this from Canadian Spider-Man. I don't love Jill more than Scotty. He's great. Both are great. That sounds like a parent who doesn't want to say who they love more. But I think Spidey loves Scotty more.
What?
Phantom Outsider
Crazy.
says America and my mom's uncle escorted him back to the military. You know what? I'm so sorry, Phantom. I think there are like 7 chats that go together that I didn't read. That I don't know which 7 they are. But I'll have to ask you about your experiences sometime and learn a bit
Now,
more
there's
about your mom's uncle.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before. There's a German POWs over here in the States that liked it so much because they were treated so well that they stayed here in our country.
Mhm. Yeah, and so it is. Yeah, it depends on the culture, it depends on the war, and it depends on how much of an other you can make your enemy. And I think that the Pacific Theater was a situation where the othering of the enemy was easier simply because of aesthetic differences or racial differences.
Yes.
What was it
let's
for
move on to-
Inglorious Bastards? The reason that Quentin Tarantino made that movie, or one of the reasons,
It's a
or
light
one of the
fire.
well, to shoot Hitler in the face, but also
Yes.
it was because World War
And
II
light
was
him
the
on
last
fire.
time where there was a situation where if you knew the language and the culture, you could fight in the war and you could infiltrate. Whereas that is very, very difficult when you are, genetically defined by your appearance. And so you can't necessarily infiltrate as much. And so othering is easier if people look different than you, or that if the enemy looks different than. So you can, anyway. What a lovely topic.
Well, okay, but like we said, we are moving on. We've got to get to Nothing in the Dark.
Yeah, let's talk about death.
Yeah, let's move on from war to death. This will be brighter and happier. This is the Twilight Zone. But also a happy new year from 1961 to 1962. Nothing in the Dark first aired on January 5th, 1962. 62. And so it was written by George Clayton Johnson, directed by Lamont Johnson. Out of the episodes we've seen so far, he directs other season 3 episodes, the ones we've seen, The Shelter, and 5 Characters in Search of an Exit. And he'll go on to direct 4 more in this season. And he's done some other stuff too. So,
Yeah, he worked. He liked working on the Twilight Zone because he said it was so refreshing from doing, Dr. Kildare and other, for lack of a better term, routine television shows, where he could use more of his directorial talents and in his excursions there into the Twilight Zone, the imagination. He really liked it, especially from his theatrical background. He was like working on a 2 or 3 character play, and something like, especially this episode. But yeah, Lamont Johnson specifically chose Gladys Cooper because of his working with her in the theater, and she was a grand lady of the theater. And some thought, well, wait a minute, she can't do this role, and Lamont was like, no, she can do it. And boy, did she prove all those naysayers wrong. But he also was the one responsible for picking Robert Redford. He saw him in the Playhouse 90 drama that introduced Robert Redford to American audiences. It was a Rod Serling drama for Playhouse 90 called "In the Presence of Mine Enemies," and he played a Nazi officer. And he was just in one scene, but Lamont Johnson thought his appearance was quite striking, and he wanted a handsome, all-American kind of guy. He described Redford's eyes as blazing, and he liked his candor and his character, and he thought he would fit really well playing the.
Well, we'll talk a little more about him when we get there. Let's kind of repeat that a little bit when we get to Redford, because I have so much to say that would just give away the whole story, where we want to introduce it. And so we cut to a home with the older lady. We're calling her Wanda Dunn, and she's asleep, and she has all these chairs surrounding her bed. And I suppose she's at the point where she fears that she's going to fall out of the bed. And it is true that we do go backwards to childhood at the end, or so I hear from my mother, who works in a nursing home. And of course, as you said, she's played by Gladys Cooper, and everything you said was right. And she was also Davy's mother in Now Voyager. Not that I know what that is. And Rex Harrison's mother in My Fair Lady. I do know what that is.
Yeah, Betty Davis from Now Voyager. And she was also, what was the other? She's in a future Twilight Zone episode as well.
Yeah, she's
she
in a
does
couple.
another one.
Yeah, she's in a couple of them. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so, and then she hears a commotion in her house, and she looks around. She sees an officer, and she's checking the locks on her doors. And based on how the set is laid out, yeah. So it was hard for me to tell whether he was in another room or outside, but it turns out he's outside.
Yeah, he was outside, kind of in the stairwell. It looked like he was crouched behind some garbage cans and exchanged fire with some criminal who speeds away in a car. We see him fall after shots are fired. A couple shots are fired, and he falls down the stairwell in front of her door on the outside there. And we hear a car speed away, so it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, after being shot, he calls out for help.
Yeah.
And she insists, oh, you must be lying. You can't be. I know who you are. And so that leads us into well, actually, okay, actually you already shared that. So yeah, then we cut to Sterling. And so this is some odd, I really love this episode, but this is some odd editing where it seems like the frame was stilled for too long and only gets into motion a few seconds after he starts to speak. I don't know if I had just a bad uh,
Well,
video or
he's reflected in a mirror, and Serling, you know, right there, he's in a mirror, and then the camera pans over, and
yeah, but while he's talking, his frame is frozen for a second before it begins to move again.
oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't know. It seemed like a bit of a mistake. It was a little bit off.
I didn't
I
notice
don't
I
know.
didn't notice that on the Blu-ray, but maybe I need to look at that again.
It might have
And
been a
maybe
little
it's
bit of
just me.
lag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
maybe
noticed
there's a
lag.
lag. Okay.
I
Yeah, it's
was
just
I
Okay.
was
it's
off
an
put by the fact that the eye line, because usually when Rod
right.
Serling is speaking to
Right.
us, he's speaking to us, you know, he's looking directly into the camera.
Mhm.
But and speaking of foreshadowing, whereas I
Yeah.
agree with you, Jill, in terms of those in the last episode, those words being aped back, that's more of a callback to sort of hold a mirror up to what was being said at the beginning and how it's being said back to Dean Stockwell in The Quality of Mercy. In this one, I find this to be much more of a foreshadowing situation because he is addressing the mirror and then he addresses the audience. And I'm like, what's up with the mirror? Is there going to be a
Yeah.
vampire or something? And I had
Oh.
no idea until the end.
We can thank Lamont Johnson. I'm sure this is
Big ups, Lamont.
yeah, I am sure he had this set up. But you know, it could have been in the script from George Clayton Johnson. But
Okay,
story.
Scotty, do you want to read the beginning or the end of this episode?
I'd like to begin, or no, I'll take the end. I'll take the end.
Okay. An old woman living in a nightmare. An old woman who has fought 1,000 battles with death and always won. Now she's faced with the grim decision whether or not to open the door. And in some strange and frightening way, she knows that this seemingly ordinary door leads to the Twilight Zone.
dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah, it was electric, so frightfully hectic. Anyway,
So the officer continues to beg for
Oh my
help.
goodness. Look at that expression on Rod's
Oh my
face. Like,
okay, we'll look at it
you
for a second.
are definitely in for some mega Twilight Zone.
Yeah, the different angles of Rod in
Yeah.
this one are
I'm so
new.
glad that they went with him with being the narrator and then finally agreeing to appear on camera. It's just awesome.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and apparently it was difficult for him at first.
Yeah,
And
he was very, very nervous, and he did the previews, but then World of His Own is where he actually appears on camera proper in the actual episode. But
yeah. He's
yeah,
actually part of the story in that one, which
yeah,
is
it's
hilarious.
hilarious.
I still have a clip of an elephant somewhere.
Oh,
I wanted to bring back.
yeah, that's one of the
Well,
episodes I showed my nieces. I said, I've got a serious episode and a more whimsical Twilight Zone episode for you. And that was the whimsical one I showed.
Yeah.
They really enjoyed that. They got a kick out of that one.
It's kind of
It's-
fun. It's kind of like
Yes.
when there's those cartoons where you draw something and it comes to life,
Yeah,
but
and
now it's
yeah, and they especially liked it when Rod got disappeared. It's like
I suppose that's the way it goes.
that's the way it
yeah,
goes.
I know, but I think
In the Twilight Zone.
Scotty didn't like it, and it was a fun review.
Yeah, it was a fun review. I wanted something else.
Oh, you didn't like it, huh? Well,
We'll talk about that another time because
no,
we've
that's
got to
fine.
talk about this
That's
one.
fine.
So
Rubbed
she
me the
Right, the
relents.
wrong
world
way.
don't move to the anyway.
All right, okay. So she opens the door, and despite what she said earlier about how she knows who he is and what he is, and that he's lying, she doesn't open it all the way though. She looks down to see the police officer shot and laying in the snow, and the officer pleads that he's going to die.
Yeah,
And so
he's
yeah,
hurting bad, and she cannot resist.
she thinks he's trying to trick her. And that's the point where I realize, okay, as if he were the Grim Reaper, and if she touched him, she will die instead. It's telegraphed pretty blatantly, even though not
Really?
explicitly. Yeah, I felt it immediately. Well, I think I felt it because of the opening narration. I think the opening narration told me. I don't know. Or I saw this episode a long time ago and I forgot. I have no
Yeah.
idea how I knew
But
it.
when
so
she
quickly.
Oh, this is
gets
my
out-
first time.
when she
I
gets
thought it
out,
was my first time, but I'm not sure.
yeah, when she gets outside, she's like, "Oh, I'm still alive." So she has
Mhm.
more confidence, and then helps him in. And of course, she touches him, and nothing happens. And so
But she just touches his clothing, but I guess it doesn't matter.
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, could be. Yeah,
And she helps him inside. So, but also, Mark Scott Zicree compares it to One for the Angels and thinks that it's this one's better than that one. I liked One for the Angels.
well, yeah, the
but
one
okay.
for the angels is more whimsical.
Yeah. Well,
and
and definitely very different Mr. Death.
yeah, again, they complement one another. I don't really like to, oh, this one's better, and it's like, well, and just from a technical point of view, from a directorial point of view, I think this one is more atmospheric. But then again, it's approaching it in a different way, and so it's the different directorial approach is proper. The other one is you're not going to be it's not going to be always at night and with shadows and all that. It's not that kind of an episode.
No, it's
The
bright.
one
The
for the
other one is
angels.
bright
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
sunlight, and you got little kids running around with broken toys. And Mr. Death, he kind of introduces himself immediately.
Yeah,
Here he says his name is name is Harold.
Yeah, Harold
Bedmer?
something with B.
Oh, DJ Play Nice has to head out. Thank you, Scotty. I wasn't diligent with the chat. I appreciate you.
Oh.
And I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, have a great one,
Play
DJ.
Nice.
And DJ,
Yeah.
you rock.
You do rock. Yeah, he sure does. This is true. True story.
It's so funny. Lamont Johnson, he, usually with Twilight Zone, it's a 1-day rehearsal and 3 days filming, but he got these two together on his own before the actual official day of rehearsal. And Gladys Cooper was totally charmed by Robert Redford. And I know when they were still considering the casting, Gladys Cooper told Lamont Johnson, "Oh, get him for me, darling." It's like, okay, so I guess you guys.
Okay.
All right, so you don't find that amusing. Okay, I'll.
Oh no! It is amusing.
It is amusing. I just like to hear the story. So
I'll just mute myself.
Okay, so
Thank
Harold.
Heavens.
On second thought, no.
Yeah, exactly.
I do enjoy the production stuff, but I just didn't have anything to say to it. She doesn't have a phone, so we learned that she doesn't have a phone to call a hospital for Harold, and so of course she has to unlock the door to help him, but she's afraid of dying too, and she won't help the man, and she's acting like she's being tormented by his pain. She said it isn't fair that he tortures her, but he insists he needs medical help, and eventually she unlocks the door. She, as Stone Racket mentioned, she touches him, realizes she can move him without being harmed. And then she moves him into her home and lays him up in a bed. And of him, as Stone Racket said, Lamont said he's very new. I saw him on Playhouse 90. And one scene part with Charles Lockton
With
and
Charles Lawton. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah,
and the
he's being
presence
kind of
of mind.
radicalized in that scene. I've seen that particular
Mhm.
sequence.
And there he is.
And
He's got
yep.
a kind of American beauty about him. He'd be
Yeah, that's
great
what
for this cop. I was reading it
yeah,
as
is
I was reading it.
exactly that's a direct lift from the commentary.
Yes. Yes.
That quote that's in Zakri's book. And there's also there's the comment. Well, excuse me, that's not correct. There's a interview in lieu of a commentary track where he interviews Lamont Johnson and George Clayton Johnson. And then the actual proper commentary track is Mark Zakri and George Clayton Johnson. So in the interview part, he's quoting from that exactly what you just stated there, Jill, from the book.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And so he's appreciative of her and says she can rest now. A doctor's going to come and take care of him. And he says he feels better thanks to her. However, then he realizes that she didn't call a doctor. She doesn't have a phone, and she can't even use a neighbor's telephone because everybody has moved away. And she finally lets him in on her paranoia as to why. Even
Yeah.
if she could call a doctor, she couldn't let him in. He might be him. So she mentions Mr. Death. I know he's out there. He's trying to get in. He comes through the door and knocks. He begs me to let him in. Last week he said he came from the gas company. Oh, he's clever. After that, he claimed to be a contractor hired by the city. I knew who he was. He said this building was condemned and I'd have to leave. I kept the door locked and he went away. He knows I'm onto him. So I do like Harold as Mr. Death here because he doesn't reveal that he is him until the
Yeah.
end, and he seems to be more of an angel than a
Yes.
scary creature.
The angel of death. Now, it's obvious that Wanda Dunn
Mhm.
has made a dressing has tended to Harold's wound there because there's an obvious dressing there
Hmm.
on his chest by his shoulder chest area there.
Yes.
And so she's not only just given him tea or whatever, she has
Oh, the
actually
tea.
uh, dressed his wound. So she's done more than it's off screen that she does it, but we can see the evidence right there.
Yes. Yeah. So she really touched him. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
if he wanted to take her, that would have been the moment.
Right.
And so he doesn't. He lets her live a little longer. And until she can understand, he wants her to understand. Brogu has to go. Adios.
Can you take it back one frame to where it
At
shows
which point?
See ya, Brogu.
where it shows the plate on the wall behind him?
Wait. Hold
Yeah,
on.
that
Yeah,
and,
I was
and
gonna read that from Brogu, but I
oh,
couldn't. I
go
was
ahead,
I'm
go
trying
ahead
to
and
look for
go
I
ahead
was
and
trying to
read
look
the.
for a plate. Here you go.
There you go.
There's the
Just
plate.
keep it there, and then
No,
go ahead
fine.
and
Now
read
I'll have to
Grogu.
find it.
Go
Here.
ahead. Yeah,
Oh, dang it. Good Scully.
there it is.
Adios, Antiderivative Jill, Scotty R37, and the incredible, unforgettable Stone Racket.
Oh, thank you. Very kind.
Enjoy the rest of the stream. Enjoy the rest of the week. And remember, this is the way. Bye.
So long, Grogu.
Cheers.
Yeah. Yes. See you around.
Now
Thank you for hanging out with us.
yeah, definitely. Now the embroidered plate there on the wall.
Really?
Yeah, that was given to George Clayton Johnson. He was asked by is it Roger Nelson or Ralph Nelson?
Ricky Nelson?
Ralph Nelson, the production designer, production manager, he was saying is, they're tearing down the set, and they asked George Clayton Johnson, who wrote the teleplay Nothing in the Dark. Was asked if he wanted anything. He says, "Well, no, I'd like to have the drawing that you have here for the set." But Nelson gave him this specific plate that you see right there above Redford, uh, and when Mark Scott Zucree was doing the commentary track with George Clayton Johnson, he says, "I still have that plate, and the embroidered the surrounding of the plate that's embroidered, that's purple." Just to let you know. But he
Ah,
was given that and the drawing for the set design from Ralph Nelson.
so he got what he wanted, and then a bonus.
And then a bonus, yeah. So he says,
So
"I still have that," and it's like,
mhm,
"Oh, cool."
nice. I would have liked the picture of the dog, the little Scottish terrier,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but we'll see
yeah.
that later.
We'll see that
Right
in a little
now,
bit.
they're kind of having a discussion that reminds me of how did Santa Claus get around the world in one night? And so Harold is questioning the existence of a single entity,
Yeah,
Grim
single,
Reaper,
right.
because he says people die all over the world. How could one man be in all those places at once? And Wanda says, "Don't ask me that. Maybe there are more than one."
Yeah.
And she also she continues to talk about the first time she ever saw death on a bus. So she's been seeing death everywhere. And then in this first case, she saw him take out a lady who was knitting on a bus, and she died. He picked up her ball of yarn and gave it back to her, and after that contact, she died before the end of the line.
Yeah, it's
And
interesting. She says that the old woman dropped her yarn and Death picked it up and gave it to her, but that's when they touched hands. And then she says that Death got off on the next stop, but at the end of the line, she realized the old woman was had passed on. But the thing is, when Death got off, who walked off with him? Most likely,
that's
the
right. That's
spirit, the
right.
spirit, and she didn't see, but she could see Death, which is interesting. I find that very
Mhm.
interesting.
Right, she
But
could just see death, but she
yep, she
couldn't
could just see
see
Death.
the spirit of the lady leave.
Yeah, and do you have the dialogue, where she talks about why she was able to see Death in the different guises that she
Eh,
Let me see if I can find it when we get there. I'm almost
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
Harold
no problem.
counters that Wanda admitted the lady who died was old, but Wanda said that she's seen him lots of times since then. Every time someone she knew died, she spotted him around. He takes on many disguises, and she figures out that she can identify him because she's growing old. Is that the part?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's
Mhm. Oh
let
my
me
goodness,
find.
there's Spock.
Okay,
he's
it's
death.
sorry. Uh, I'm trying to find my dialogue.
And you need Spock to do that?
Yeah, I
Of
needed
course.
Spock.
Yeah, is it StreamYard that's goofing up?
No.
No, that was just me flipping
Oh, okay.
through tabs.
Okay.
And let's see, but you yourself said she was an old woman. And I wondered why I could see him and that no one else could. Is that what then I knew
Yeah,
it
uh-huh.
was because I was getting older and my time
Yeah,
was coming. I could see clearer than younger people could.
yeah, mhm.
Mhm. And
That's
so
it.
that's the direct dialogue for that.
Yeah, mhm.
And
Thank you.
it's you're welcome. And it's almost time for her to meet him too. And Harold says that if you can sense him, then why be worried? Just avoid him. She says his face is always different, so she can't always be sure, which is a bit contradictory, but it does amplify the fear of it. Still, anyway, she avoids death by never going out at all. And a boy delivers her food for her.
Uh-huh.
Although
Yeah,
there's a price that she pays for that.
Yeah, Harold says, "Well, what do you do about food?" And she has a delivery boy. She just leaves a list and money outside her door, and then she says, "I wait till he leaves before I get my groceries inside." So it's like, oh, what a life! But the thing is,
Yeah.
her apartment here uh, is so much like the hovel that I live in, and I do the same thing. I have everything delivered. I never go out. No, I
Oh, I know that's not true. I've seen
no,
you do
I've
stuff.
yeah, I've gone out.
Jill has seen your hovel.
Yeah, my hovel isn't quite as cluttered, but it's close. Oh, there's
Oh,
your
yeah,
Scottish
there's my
Terrier. There you go.
there's my picture. I need this. It's cute. So
Yeah, they did a remarkable job getting this place uh, decorated, so to speak. Is most convincing. But the thing is,
it
what
is.
kind of she doesn't live any kind of life
Well, and you do
to avoid
accumulate
death.
stuff.
She's just in the dark, and it's like, and then that little she talks about when she was younger and living in the sunlight.
Yes, right.
That's a great
She would
part.
say,
Yeah.
I was young and beautiful and I lived in the sun. I miss being outdoors. I hate the dark and the cold."
And
So
then
she
there's that
did.
little spot of sunlight. She puts her hand on the floor there. It's a
Oh
nice
yeah.
directorial touch.
But also, I think a lot of credit has to be given to the performance by Gladys,
Oh
because
yes.
I think that there is something about an older actor
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
acknowledging their age. They're obviously cast because they are older, and to tap into that emotion must be difficult. Like a lot of people say it's like hitting marks, reading words, or memorizing words. It can't be that difficult. It's like, well, you do
Oh,
have to
wait a minute.
confront
Yeah.
those things, and then
Yeah.
you have to convey them to the audience honestly.
Yeah,
And so it
she's
can be difficult. It's
yeah, she's
I think it's a great performance
oh
on
yeah,
Gladys's
she
part.
just an incredible performance. It's the key to the whole episode.
She's
She's
wonderful.
magnificent, and it's amazing that some of the people, I don't know if it was Buck Houghton, but maybe the network brass was like, you're like, well, wait a minute, she's a grand dame of the theater. I don't know if that's right. And it's like she's absolutely perfect for this role.
Yeah, and she thought it was
Yeah,
a
but
good idea too.
Yeah, and
uh,
Clayton Johnson, when he heard her do the Cockney type accent, he was like, "No, that's just use your normal voice." But then he was convinced after seeing her perform for a while. He was like, he was won over. Um, but she felt that doing a lower class English accent uh, was uh, apropos for this character.
well,
Mm.
it reminds me of modern performances. It's like Ellen Burstyn in Requiem for a Dream, who is sort of looking back at her younger days and then becoming, oh, I'm just going to fade into nothingness. And there's a pathos, there is an emotional weight to her performance. Like I am drawn to a young Robert Redford. I think he is. And I'll talk about him in a second, but I think that Gladys does such a good job, and she does tap into her own experiences. That it is amazing. Sadly, she passed away 10 years. Well, no, not sadly. She was like 72, and she passed away 10 years later. But I really think that this is an emotional performance, and I'm glad that the script doesn't betray her in the way that I thought it was going to. Because when she accepted Robert Redford into her hovel, I was like, "Oh, I think she's gonna kill him." And I'm
Oh,
glad that
did
it
you
was
really?
I did, because she was so paranoid, and I thought she was going to be a crazy lady who was like, I let you in and you lied to me and now I have to kill you. And then the real death would show up and it would be like, well, you're going to hell now. Because I always feel like there's going to be an Oh Henry, a negative thing that's going to happen at the end of an episode of The Twilight Zone. And with this episode, I was very taken by the fact that it wasn't. In fact, it was a reassurance. This is
Yeah.
this Wanda's death is a reassurance that
Yeah,
there is no, that it isn't as bad.
Yeah,
Right.
it isn't. Yeah, it's not something to be afraid of. It's a natural thing of life, the circle of life, and all of that. But she says, even though she loves the sunlight, she'd rather live in the dark than not at all. And
Yeah.
Harold,
Then not at all. And that's kind of like, well, what kind of life is that? It's like,
yeah, and
oh
Harold
dear.
reassures her that she doesn't have to be afraid. Nobody's here.
Hmm.
But then the pain returns, and it's obvious he needs a doctor, so she has to go out and get one. And she wonders what to do now because she's big. You could see that she's very guilt-ridden. She doesn't even have
Yeah.
to say that she is. As we're mentioning, she's such a great actress. She just betrays
Yeah.
it with her emotions. And then somebody knocks at the door.
Yeah. It's
Harold wants
Archie
someone to open
Armstrong.
the
He's looking
door.
for Dutch. No, sorry.
Archie Armstrong.
Yeah, Archie
Man.
Armstrong, the
Oh,
actor playing the
okay.
contractor. And Dutch is the character that Schwarzenegger played in Predator. So anyway, there you go.
He's
Well,
got
but that's funny. That's
his
funny that you bring
orders.
that. He is the general in Predator.
Right. That's why I mention it. He has a mustache, but he's the
Yes.
same guy.
He was Prune Face in the Dick Tracy movie. He was a judge in Where the Buffalo Roam, which is the Bill Murray, Hunter S. Thompson movie. He has been all over the place. Such a great
lots
actor.
of stuff. Lots of stuff.
So many good things.
And this has to be the contractor that she was referring to that she thought was Death. And
she still thinks he's Death.
And the thing is, we the audience are going, oh, this looks like Death for sure.
Well, and it's a great fake out. Because she seems to keel over when he barges in.
Yeah, she faints, and it's like, and then that's the mid break of the episode, and it's kind of like, it
brought to you by Chesterfield Cigarettes.
And then it's funny. I think it's a brilliant move on George Clayton Johnson to have this character be the spokesperson for Death, because he makes the case for, like you were saying, Jill, the circle of life. He states that, I'm not people think I'm, a monster or a destroyer. I'm just paving the way for
I'll
the
have
new.
you read it in a minute. I'll have you read the whole thing in a minute.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so essentially he's explaining that he has to take down the whole apartment, which explains why all of her neighbors packed up and left.
Oh,
They
yeah.
weren't leaving her. They weren't like, oh, I don't want to live next to her anymore. No, they were leaving because the whole building has to be taken down, and
it's been condemned. And as he mentions, he goes, you were notified months ago.
Yes.
So that's why there ain't anybody. And even that it looked like more than just one building in the neighborhood has to come down. So she really is quite alone.
I think there's also some interesting symbolism when she uses the bars of her bed.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
holds on to them as if she's never going to want to let go.
Yeah, when we first are introduced, we see those bars, and it's like, okay, Lamont, we got it.
We got it. Yeah, it's her own.
I mean,
self-made.
it's her. I shouldn't sound facetious. I like that. And yeah, look at that. It's just great.
It's her own self-made prison. And yes, it's very yes, it is a little obvious, but I like it. It's
I like the composition. Reese there at the doorway, and then she's just gripping. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, so let's read this whole thing because I like this. As you say, it is making the case for Death, and that death comes for everyone, and we've all got to deal with it. But here's the first half. There's a lot here. Let's get
okay.
Okay, 2 more. 1 and 1 more, and then there you go.
All these buildings have to come down. I ain't a monster, lady. I've got a heart just like anybody else, but I can see how you could get attached to a place and not want to see it wrecked. But when a building is old, it's dangerous. It's got to come down to make room for a new one. That's life, lady. Old make room for the new. Well, people get the idea that I'm some kind of destroyer, but they think I get kicks out of tearing stuff down. That ain't the way it is. I just clear the ground so other people can build. In a way, I help them do it. Look around. It's the way things are. A big tree falls and a new one grow right out of the same ground. Old animals die and young ones take their places. Even people step aside when it's time.
I won't. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
still in
She's like,
denial, but
I won't. Yeah, she's still clinging to the bar of her bed there.
yeah, as he's explaining all
Now
this,
this is her actual bed. What the Redford character is laying on is like a settee or a little sofa.
mhm.
Because you're kind of wondering the geography. And it's like, oh, okay, this is over here, and then we're wondering, well, wait a minute, where's the cop?
Well, and now she's getting protective of her domicile, and she
Yes,
locks the door, and he says, "But we're gonna demolish this in about an hour. Why are you bothering
yeah.
to even close the door?"
Close the door. Well, of course. Well, it's good to close the door, but he's broken it. You can see where she can't really lock it with the chain lock, but yeah, I mean, within an hour or so, this it's going to be brought down. And it's like, oh my goodness.
She's not ready to move on
But the
in
thing
more
is,
ways than one.
yeah, but the thing is, it's like with this whole situation now made crystal clear. We see that the angel of death is being quite merciful and has arrived at exactly the right time.
Yes, and he's letting her build up to the realization of
Yes.
what's going to happen. But the contractor here doesn't know about the angel death or anything.
No.
He offers to help her move anything she wants to
Hmm.
keep, but if she won't leave of her own volition, he'll have to call a cop. And Wanda talks to Harold, asking him, "Hey, explain to him why we can't leave." However, the contractor can't see Harold, and that's when people realize that he's dead.
Yeah, but
On
also I
first
would
viewing.
like to I really want to highlight this because I thought that this was fascinating. I hope it's the intention. If it was interpretation, then I take full responsibility. But when the contractor says, "Don't make me call a cop," and then she says, "But I have a cop," and it is almost like a double meaning. It's like he is in charge of death. He enforces the law of mortality. And what are you talking about, lady? If I come back and you're still here, I'm gonna have to call a cop. And
Yeah.
like I love that is both not corporeal, it is corporeal and non-corporeal at the same time. It's like
Right.
a cop is here,
Hmm.
or
It was
it will be.
it was interesting during production when R.G. Armstrong is looking right through Redford as he's laying there.
Yeah.
It was hard for Redford for a little bit to keep a straight face and to stop and to keep from laughing because it was just he found it very absurd. But Archie just he's looking right through him, and it's like, what are you talking about? It's but yeah, that's
Mm.
interesting little anecdote there.
Yeah, well, and they do have to play pretend sometimes, and that's how
Yes,
it works.
but everything went smooth. We don't have any outtakes.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, okay. And then Death wants to help Wanda understand and wonders whether she really thinks he's so scary. So we want
Yeah.
some dialogue for this.
Oh yeah. Must
Um,
be red.
yeah,
Well,
it
and
must be
once
red.
while you're searching, I just want to sort of say something. Like Eugene Bird in the chat earlier said, "I love the Brad Pitt episode," and I agree. I do think that there is some sort of parallel in terms of the careers of Robert Redford and Brad Pitt. I do very much enjoy the movie Spy Game. I do think that there is something like obviously Robert Redford had more of a creative flair in terms of direction. Like he did, I think he won an Oscar for Out of Africa. Like he was a very prolific and creative man. But in terms of their stardom, I do appreciate I do appreciate them as sort of being parallel, or I don't know. There is something about Brad Pitt and Robert Redford that I find a kinship towards. And I do like that Robert Redford, or sorry, well, I do like that Robert Redford plays Death in this, and then Brad Pitt played Meet Joe Black, which is a remake of Death Takes a Holiday.
Right.
And that kind of, Brad Pitt plays it a little more simple or childlike than I would appreciate, but this interaction, someone mentioned it's like without the black lady and Meet Joe Black, and it's like, well, no, like aside from the patois, the Caribbean inflection language, what have you, in Meet Joe Black, I do think that there is a certain philosophical or empathetic explanation as to what are you afraid of? What's wrong? Like, this is all just part of it. And when it does come to the when Wanda is Wanda is holding her the bars, it is an existence that she has created for herself. If I don't live like this, I won't live. And what's the big deal? Live life like you're gonna die, because you're gonna. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. So Jill, I believe you start this off.
I'm almost there. Give me
Okay, as soon as you're done.
Just one more minute.
Just one moment more, said the
I
mortal.
want to read Wanda. No, just kidding.
Okay, you can be Wanda Stoner.
No. I'm just kidding. You go right ahead, both of you.
I just think that this is touching, and I think that this is something that I reassure myself with when I think about death. Like, I've had my doubts about life, and I've thought about the release of death, and then also I've just wondered. It's like, to say that I know what's going to happen is hubris.
Okay, ready. Okay.
All right, you go first.
You made me trust you.
But I had to make you understand. Am I really so bad? Am I really so frightening? You've talked to me. You've confided in me. Have I tried to hurt you? It isn't me you're afraid of. You understand me. What you're afraid of is the unknown. Don't be afraid.
But I am afraid.
The running is over. It's time to rest. Give me your hand.
But I don't want to die.
Trust me.
No.
Mother, give me your hand. They embrace. You see, no shock, no engulfment, no tearing asunder. What you feared would come like an explosion is like a whisper. What you thought was the end, it's the beginning.
When will it happen? When will we go?
Go? Look, we've already begun. Oh, that is beautiful dialogue. Absolute credit.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah, totally awesome sauce.
And
not only that, but it's like, okay, so this is the reason I wanted to read that. The reason I wanted to ape a wonderful pair of performances is there is a famous story about Harrison Ford being, it's like, when Tony Curtis showed up on screen delivering groceries, we knew he was a movie star. And Harrison Ford said, "Oh, I thought you were supposed to know that he was a guy delivering groceries." And that's well lamented part of Harrison Ford acting lore. But with this, on an episode of The Twilight Zone, which I would say is B-movie fiction for the 1960s, a trifle of a science fiction show that was written by a man who wanted to express, many men who wanted to express ideas about the possibilities of what you could do on television and in fiction. Robert Redford portrayed death in an empathetic way to a woman who had been a part of entertainment. Like, there is something about this that is so rousing. And you watch this, the only episode of The Twilight Zone where Robert Redford was. And when I saw that, I was like, holy shit. Fireworks and Ferris wheels. Like, this is amazing. This guy is awesome. Of course, he achieved the successes that he did. I celebrate everything that Robert Redford did. I have not seen his first performance. As far as I'm concerned, this is the first performance of his that I have seen. And when I saw him on screen, even in this, I was like, that man is a movie star.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I just want to celebrate everything about this.
Yeah, that is a famous what you referred to with Harrison Ford. That was when he was being interviewed at the time of Return of the Jedi, and it's
It was on Letterman, I think.
It was no, it was on the Today Show, and
Oh, okay.
the that anecdote, he's like being confronted by in his early days under contract. He's like, Tony Curtis was his first thing on screen. He was just delivering groceries, and you knew right away. And then, of course, what you said of Harrison Ford. Well, I thought that was just supposed to be a grocery delivery boy, and then the interviewer, I think, was Bryant Gumbel. He goes, "Where's that executive now?" And then Harrison Ford turns, and he boy, it's like he's because it was in his home when he was interviewed, if I recall correctly, and so I thought that was pretty hilarious. But one thing I wanted to say about the dialogue, who we have to thank for the, you see, no shock, no engulfment, no tearing asunder. What you feared would come like an explosion is like a whisper. What you thought was the end is the beginning. We have Charles Beaumont to thank for that little paragraph, because George Clayton Johnson.
So not Johnson?
Yeah, George Clayton Johnson admits in the commentary, in the interview, he says, I don't remember what it was that Charles Beaumont said to me, some statement, some explanation, some words of encouragement. But Clayton Johnson was stuck. He had a 2-page synopsis, kind of an outline that he presented to Buck Houghton, and he was already committed to kick the can. He had that pretty much nailed down. But this other story he was having trouble with, and he was being dropped off by Charles Beaumont in front of his house. And as he was in the car there with Charles Beaumont, he was telling him, hey, I'm stuck with this. And Beaumont gave him this series of words, and that inspired George Clayton Johnson to finish the story. And he went right in, even though he had company. Friend of his, he said, while she talked to my wife, I went in and typed a quick 5 pages, and he was inspired by Beaumont to
Nice.
he's like, how am I going to end this? Where is this going? He was so frustrated, but then Beaumont, just with those words, gave him the point where he was heading to.
I love the teamwork.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, this is great, because I love those words.
Yeah, me too. And
this episode really touched my mother. My folks, I called my folks just about every weekend, and I I was talking to my mother, and she had recently seen this episode. I'm not sure which channel was showing it at the time, but she said that she talked to me quite a bit about this particular episode, and in a way, like what you were saying, Scotty, this was comforting to her. And my mom was in her 70s at that time, and I mean, it in a way it helped bolster her Christian faith in a way, which I thought was rather touching.
Oh, yeah, it says
And
that in what you thought was the
uh
end is the beginning.
right, is the beginning, and it's like we all are eternal. There's something, there's more than just flesh and blood and brain. We have a spirit, and that part is eternal. And so death is just a doorway, as we see a doorway here on screen.
Well, yeah, and I like the
And it's
way
like,
oh, go ahead.
and it's just and I thought it was just brilliant casting to have Redford, who is not in any shape or form the Grim Reaper, the stereotypical Grim Reaper.
Yeah, where's his
And he's
his sickle?
he's very gentle and understanding, and I just love the way this ends. They just walk out and they just hand in hand, and uh, it's just a beautiful story,
But
very comforting story, um, and just a masterpiece.
yes, I like what Zikri says to describe the end of the episode. No longer afraid, she allows Mr. Death to lead her outside into the sunlight. And Scotty, could you please read the closing narration? Scotty, you're 37. Paige and
Are you
Scotty
gonna
are 37
are
with
you
the
gonna
IL2.
you don't have to play the CSI sound.
Oh, is that what you want? I can do that
I
if
don't
you
think it's appropriate. I don't
No,
think
it's not. Not for the
Okay,
well,
so don't
okay,
do this one.
okay.
Don't do this one. Anyway, so there was an old woman who lived in a room, and like all of us, was frightened of the dark, but who discovered in the minute minute? Is it in the minute
It's
last
minute.
fragment? It's
Yeah.
minute. Okay, let
Yeah.
me go again. Can I go again?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
There was an old woman who lived in a room, and like all of us, was frightened of the dark, but who discovered in the minute last fragment of her life there was nothing in the dark that wasn't there when the lights were on. Object lesson for the more frightened amongst us, or in or out of the Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Yes, very good.
I think this is a really touching episode. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen Meet Joe Black or Death Takes a Holiday,
Yeah.
I like all of these things are so. I think all of them would be it is the spooky season. I would highly
Complementary
recommend
of one another. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, man. I'm glad that you agree.
Yeah, it's interesting. I talked about my mother, her reaction to this episode, but for my father, it was Death Takes a Holiday.
Yeah.
And he, he loved the play and the Frederick March movie, but what I watched with him was the made-for-television version with Monty Markham and Yvette Mimieux. And my dad, it was interesting because normally my dad didn't watch the movies of the week on ABC, but he was home during that week, and we all watched that as a family. But my father was always fascinated by that play, and so he couldn't resist. He said, "Well, let's see what they do with this made-for-TV version." But yeah, and then like you said, Meet Joe Black is yet another adaptation of Death Takes a Holiday.
And
So
this
it's
is
just,
an
yeah.
example that you don't need a lot of sets to tell a great story.
Oh,
This is
yes.
basically a bottle episode too.
My goodness, yes. It's just beautiful acting, and wonderful direction, and everyone is just cast perfectly. R.G. Armstrong, Robert Redford, especially Gladys Cooper, who carries the whole thing. It's just a magnificent episode of Twilight Zone. One of my top 10 favorites for sure.
And there's
Mhm.
no such thing as an antagonist in this. It is just a group of people getting together and doing what they wish. Wanda wants more life. Death is doing a job, and the contractor is just like, do you think that this is fun? I just have to do this. And
Yeah.
hopefully it is tilling the field for another growth.
Right.
This is I don't know. I'm getting to the point where I think about mortality, and I prefer stories like these where it's
Yeah.
the natural progression. It's something that happens. And again, that's why whenever we talk about the passing of people, I do refer to a Shatner song. And it's just like the reality of the situation. I think it was Garrison Keillor who said it's like humans are the only animals on Earth who are aware of the fact that they are going to die, and none of them believe it.
Wait a second. Elephants have elephant graveyards. They're aware of death, and they grieve. They grieve
It
too. I
was
mean,
from a one-man
so
play, so maybe the
so
artistic license pushed a little too far. But it's
well,
just it's something
I
like,
just love
and
elephants. But yes,
well, I forgot.
we're one of the few beings who understand death.
Yeah, I prefer Jill, you said beings. We're not animals. We're unique creations in the
No, we're
image of
animals.
God. No, we're not. We're above animals.
Oh,
We're
we can
unique.
We
agree
had
to
this fight
disagree.
before, and
Yeah,
I
we
Yeah,
did have
lost.
this fight before, so
we're
let's not fight about it.
but
I'm just
Yes.
saying,
our
elephants have funerals.
yeah, I'm not arguing that.
Mhm.
Our spirits are different than the animals who also have spirits, but different.
All
But
dogs go to heaven.
yeah,
Mhm.
my nieces asked me. They go, Uncle Brian, do animals go to heaven? And I go, well, I said the Bible isn't specific about that, but we do know that when Christ returns, he is riding a horse. So so that's the big clue, is that animals are up there. They may be in a separate abode or the same, but yes, animals
A heavenly stable.
are in a heavenly state of existence. Uh, and so, like you said, all dogs go to heaven. All animals go to heaven because
Much
Mm.
like man.
animals are innocent.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
if we were talking about the Bible, then the thing
Oh,
that
is that the
stands out to me is
differentiation?
no, it's
what?
Sir Thomas More said, like I quoted him before in another stream, but another one of Jill's streams. But Sir Thomas More said, God created plants for their simplicity, animals for their innocence, and man to worship him. So
Okay.
Well,
animals
I
are
do like,
innocent. Mhm.
and to get back to the episode, I do like that
Yes,
death is not seen as a scary thing, as
yes,
a more of a gentle being
yes.
who
Hmm.
is there to make sure that Wanda doesn't suffer as she goes
Yeah,
to the other side. And so yeah, this is a good episode. I like it a lot.
yeah. It's
Me
a
too.
superb episode.
And before I
Probably.
do need to get
Oh, go ahead.
I do need to get to the chat and
Yes.
everything, and if you wanna discuss things further, we can, because I'm sure the chat is gonna have some things to say. I need to get to the chat and also the poll, but before I do that, I'm gonna read the preview for next week's stories. Next week on The Twilight Zone, we let you in on an extravagant practical joke. A man who wants to convey an illusion that the world is coming to an end. Now, there are jokes and there are jokes, but this one stands all by itself as an exercise in the very different and the very bizarre. Our play is called One More Pallbearer, and we commend it to you as something quite special. So, and then Also next week, through the good offices of Mr. Charles Beaumont, we take a walk in some dead man's shoes. It's the story of a hobo who takes some shoes off a recently deceased hoodlum and then discovers that if the shoe fits, you have to wear it. And in this case, you have to do as the shoes do, go where they tell you to, and then perform some services above and beyond the norm. I hope we see you next week for the Dead Man's Shoes. Okay, that sounds kind of, those both sound kind of fun.
Yeah, they both sound stirring and uplifting.
And so the poll, we have also got the poll today. So let's share that poll and see where the audience stands on these two episodes. And I think I agree with the conclusion here that we get.
Ooh,
This
I'm in
conclusion here.
suspense, Jill.
Yeah. Which episode do you enjoy more? Equality of Mercy at 67% over Nothing in the Dark. Actually,
Oh my
I
goodness.
think I would choose Nothing in the Dark, actually.
Yeah,
I did.
I voted for Nothing in the Dark. I'm kind of shocked that that didn't win.
Mhm. Yeah, but then Leonard Nimoy probably won people over. Look at Leonard Nimoy. No, I don't know.
Well,
but
but it's also
but it's also a thing. It's also family histories. It's also people who are very connected with the wars that have occurred and can relate to them. Also,
Yeah.
well, but war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. And yeah, no,
there's
I
nothing good
voted
in war except its ending.
well, except for Star Wars, the American Civil War, and World War II. And but yeah, no, these are
Revolutionary War.
Well,
Yeah, the Revolutionary War, the Civil War.
Oh, was it the
World War
Revolutionary
II.
War, not the Civil War? Okay.
Well,
And
I can't remember if Bart included both this American Revolution and the Civil War.
comedy comes in threes,
yeah.
so I would assume that he only choose three.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, both of these are great episodes. I just picked, and we had, like, Jill, you were present. We had a conversation with Jedi Master a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of years ago, it was 1992, and I said it was like, is your perception of this episode because of a certain actor? And when this episode came up, it's like, is my perception of this episode elevated because of Robert Redford? Like, I love Dean Stockwell, I love Leonard Nimoy, but I'm sorry, you give me a Nimoy and a Stockwell, and then and that's those are your cards flipped, and then I get Robert Redford and I flip my cards. I'm sorry, Robert Redford wins. And so my perception of this episode is skewed because of Robert Redford. I think that his performance is magnetic, and but I do think it's a all in all great episode. And so I just want to acknowledge that I'm swayed by performers.
I would go further, Scotty. You have your Redford card, your Gladys Cooper card, and your R.G. Armstrong card, and your George Clayton Johnson card.
Well, yeah.
But it's ironic.
Dude co-wrote Logan's Run. Come on.
Right, with William F. Nolan. It's ironic that in the first the first two editions of Mark Scott Zerkree's Twilight Zone companion, he disses Robert Redford's performance. He says it's the weak link. But then in the third edition, he has an addendum.
Addendum. He has
addendum.
Oh,
excuse
my
me.
goodness.
And he talks about that he's reassessed Redford's performance, and even in the commentary, he echoes that, because he talks about all the standout performances when he's talking with George Clayton Johnson. And so he doesn't say.
I didn't mention Zerkree's opinion because I didn't agree with it, but I didn't.
I totally disagree. And he actually says, he goes, "Am I really that bad?" He says in a perfect monotone, he's like a mannequin. He says words like that, and I'm like, no. he's
he's being gentle. He's trying to
gentle
be.
and I think he has a certain charisma, and it shines in this episode. And like Scotty, I take this as the first Redford performance. He didn't have a speaking part in the Playhouse 90 that Rod Serling wrote, In the Presence of Mine Enemies. It was just his reaction to what Charles Lawton was saying as he was being kind of radicalized, and just his expression on his face as this young German officer. And it made an impression on Lamont Johnson, and that's why he was cast as Death. Just the opposite, like I mentioned earlier, the opposite of the stereotypical Grim Reaper with, the dark hooded figure. It's like, no, this is not this is a subversion of our expectations.
I'm so glad.
In a really beautiful way. Even R.G. Armstrong's contractor character is a subversion of expectations. You think this brutish kind of guy? No, doesn't speak like that at all, and he's trying to calm the woman down and make sure she's all right. And then he makes the case for Death, not only his own job, but the case for Death itself.
Well, you can also tell that he's worried about her safety being in a condemned building.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
And I do appreciate that Zachary updated his opinion on this.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad when I finally read that. I'm going, oh, good. He's changed, because in the commentary.
And in his older age, he's even changing even more. If you listen to him talk about the episodes, he's so much more fond of episodes that he rails against in the book, and now he's like, "Oh, this is fine.
That's good to hear." Because I haven't read a lot of the entries. I haven't reread a lot of the entries.
Well, what I'm talking about are some of his YouTube shorts where he's walking his dog and he's making a video.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
so I just wanted to address something, because I did make a statement. I did say that I had a conversation with Jedi Master. Jill, you were there. And Jedi Master is in the chat. Welcome, Jedi Master.
Hey, Scotty, again, you're wrong.
And I've been wrong many, many times. Jedi Master says, you detest Bill Mumy and troll me all the time, Scotty. I do not detest Bill Mumy. And no, I don't troll you all the time. I was just referring to a conversation in which I had maybe accused you of enjoying an actor, and that had colored your opinion of an episode. You never answered. And in this particular instance, I just wanted to say that my interpretation of this episode may be because I favor the actor. And then in reference to the demonic child episode, I like the episode because it's a great episode telling me what I like for the reason I like it is just ignorant. If I did that, I was just referencing in terms of appreciation to an episode.
I guess maybe that's something to be careful of, not to project your own your own experiences to
dangerous
someone
waters there. But yeah,
way that they approach their opinion.
I think Jedi Master specifically says it very, very well. Scotty, you assume too much, and you know what? I am guilty of that.
And remember, Jedi Master, when you have a sentence like that, two is spelled with two O's. Oh no, I'm that guy. But yeah, I really enjoyed the casting of Robert Redford as Death. I thought it was brilliant, brilliant move, because of Lamont Johnson wanting that all-American, handsome, type actor, portraying the Grim Reaper, and I just thought it was brilliant. I wanted to read Wallace Lang wrote in the chat. He said, "Animals do go to heaven because humans love animals, and those who are saved by God's grace have their pets like their children under the canopy of grace." Yeah, that's I like that sentiment.
Yes, it's yeah, I do like that too. Sorry, I'm also tagging the chat, trying to find things that I want to bring up.
Mhm.
And to that point, I've got a few starred here, including, let's see. Oh, this was back when we were talking about Japanese, and I guess Spidey didn't know that I knew the word doi eshtamashite. Oh, I put an extra D in there. I didn't realize there was not an extra D. Doi atash. I would say doi dashu maste. Doi ata mashte. Okay, you're welcome. We English teachers remember it by the sentence, "Don't touch my mustache." That is exactly how they taught me how to say it too. My favorite sushi restaurant, the owners taught me how to say that. And yes, and so we did get to those. And Herc 130 says Scotty R37 is the most hidden talent on YouTube. His voiceover work is outstanding. I want to write a classic radio show just featuring his talents to voice the characters. I'm working on it. Well, I'll tell him about that when he gets back. I should have waited to read that one. I'll read it again later. YouTube has done the handles revision before. Right now, there aren't any adult verified. Uh, as I understand it, but I don't truly know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the reasoning either. One of the reasoning I read was that it was for security measures so people can't pretend to be other people. And so that's one of the reasons. And I know that there was a different contingency they would do to make sure people were oh, what is it that you can get added onto your account if you're a big enough channel to prove that you are you and not just pretending to be somebody else. And so it's because of that imposter thing that I think they're doing it, but I think I don't like it. No, sir. I am so glad you're all here to talk to me about the Twilight Zone. Oh, Eris, I didn't see you there. And of course, I'm getting to the chat a little bit late because when I get into the review, it gets really intense. And I'm really glad we played it the way we did. And I hope you're having a good day, Eris, if you're still with us. And okay, so that's about when DJ Play Nice left. That's how far back I am. I'm a little bit further back. And then Brogu left. And then College Slammer was here. Hopefully College Slammer's here. Are you going to do the 80s version soon? And so I don't do show reviews in order in any particular types of order because I would like to switch things up on my Tuesday show, but it's possible. It's possible in the future. Although I'll be reviewing other things before I get to that. So yeah, I've even been tossing around the idea of reviewing all the TNG that we haven't covered yet and getting that one wiped out. So we'll see what happens. It's just something I'm thinking about though. I haven't committed to it just yet. Because I already did the animated series with Pop Culture Curator, and I don't need to do that one again. And he did. We did a tremendous job already. And Blue Oyster Cult was influenced by this episode. Oh, really? I didn't know about that. How so? I didn't hear unless you already answered that further in the chat. Please let me know. Phantom Outsider says, now you realize that she could likely file a complaint in the afterlife as Death was impersonating a police officer. And that's illegal. Gosh, I didn't think about it that way. Does Death have to follow human rules?
No.
Okay, good
Yeah,
answer.
that's he can get away with that. He's not causing any mischief.
Mhm. She died at 82, 83, depending on the date. And she was born. Wait a minute. 1988, probably not 1888.
No, 1888, Gladys
Oh,
Cooper.
1888. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, 1880. It's just so weird to see that somebody was born that long ago. It just messes with my mind. Yes, 1888 to 1971, because 1988 would be younger than me. So, oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Just seeing that's something I meant to look up is how when she was born, because someone who looks that old for the Twilight Zone, yeah, would be born in the 1800s. Incredible.
No,
And
we're all in color now. All right.
yeah, we're all yeah. Yeah, I'd change the background too, but then I'd lose my stars. Let me put the star there, and then I can change the background. There.
Delightful.
Yay. Yes, it is. And so I'm checking this chat here. Lorraine Newman as a little girl asking Christopher Lee as Death to kiss her goodnight, literally asking for the kiss of death, is really pressing your luck. Wow. I have not seen that movie.
It is better to
Nor
press
have I.
shirt than press luck.
And are we talking about Lorraine Newman from Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
Got
okay.
it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly, she never goes, "Hey, can you help with the injured policeman?" Oh yeah. But
That-
well,
yeah.
and then the contractor would say, "What policeman? I don't see any policeman."
Well, and yeah, and that's what I found. I was like, wait a second. And then as the story progressed, this is why when people say that they've walked out of stories because of oh, that doesn't make sense. And it's like, well, that's why you have to watch the story till the end. Like, that's why.
Yeah, right. Yeah, some things won't make sense until the whole story has been given. And subscribe to Jedi Master. He's got a channel. And
Yes.
I show up on there sometimes to talk about Lost in Space, as I did yesterday. Oh, and Jedi Master, I don't think you were here for it, but in the first episode we had a Lost in Space actor. We had Albert Salmi.
Salmi. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Albert Salmi. And yeah, of course, the space pirate. And here he was a good guy.
Yes, I recall you mentioned him as being a scallywag.
Yes, he was. He was a scallywag in
Yes,
the
he was a scallywag.
in Lost in Space. Gladys Cooper and Dean Stockwell both were in The Secret Garden. Oh, I love The Secret Garden. I read that book when I was a kid, and then I watched the movie.
I loved it when Gladys Cooper sang that song, Feed My Frankenstein.
Hmm.
No, wait, that
What
was
movie
Alice
that?
Cooper. That was Alice Cooper. Sorry.
Oh.
Different person.
Different.
Different Cooper.
Very different. Interesting how both this episode of The Twilight Zone and Touched by an Angel had the kind, caring angels played by gentlemen. That was interesting. I want to hear Stone Racket's old lady voice. Give it to
her. Do you have one, Stone Racket? Do you have an old lady voice?
Oh, someone will accuse me of hijacking the stream again if I do that.
Who did that?
Yeah, well.
Oh, okay.
I'm
well,
here,
you don't have to call him out.
Everyone knows how to get in touch with my complaint department.
And just to let you know, Stone Racket, if I want you to stop talking, I do have the capability to stop you, and I choose to let you go on. So nobody has to be afraid that I don't know how to control my show. I do. I really do. I just like to hear what people have to say. And death is only the beginning. The Mummy. Oh, Jacob Ironside. I like The Mummy. I always remember Pop Culture Curator hated The Mummy, but I really like it. Death is only the beginning. That's the propaganda promoted by Death, FYI.
Oh, no.
Well, what? When we were talking about last Friday, when we were talking about Demon Night, and people were saying how they were sort of fearful of death. Like if you have supernatural creatures engaged in the battle for heaven and hell, like that does signify the certainty of an afterlife. Like that would be proof. And
it
so
is
when
that there's more. Even if
There
that
is
more is
more.
kind of frightening in this instance, in the Death Knight's instance.
And that's why I like you're not afraid of death, you're afraid of the unknown, is what
Mhm.
Robert Redford's character says. And that, I think, is a preoccupation with humanity, with mortality, is that it's not that we're afraid of death, it's just that we're hoping that there's more. And maybe that's hubris.
Right.
Maybe that's something where it's what makes you think you deserve more. What is it about the end of the mortal coil that gets
Yes,
shuffled off?
and I do appreciate that the episode's written in such a way that you can apply your own beliefs to it without it being specifically driven that it's one way or the other.
I'm gonna
Just that
get
there is
you.
more,
I'm gonna
but it's
hit you,
gonna be something.
hit you one
And
way or
and I
another.
appreciate Canadian Spider-Man for filling in for Franco Walker, saying, "Hey chat, please help Jill grow this channel by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. It helps YouTube know that she's working hard to entertain," and I really am, and I can't wait. Sometime in 2026, we should get to 1701 subscribers, and we're gonna have a hell of a party, and you're gonna want to be there for that. I'm normally out of the house at this time of day, but it's not very warm. It's cloudy out. Oh, well, it's good to see you around, Spidey. As people get older, they do get religious because they don't want to acknowledge the indiscipline. Well, I'm sure people have varying degrees of need for religion that is not just because death is coming, but that does happen sometimes, Spidey. It's true.
I'm
Yeah, that's a gross oversimplification there.
I think it is. I think it is a
Yeah.
simplification. And Stone Racket, like I think that there is something on Earth that is beneficial to being a part of a community that has a hopeful vision for not only how to treat other people, how to exist in a community, which I think that religion does provide, but also it does provide hope for the afterlife. And so I don't know.
Yeah, and I
But
think the
also
Twilight Zone is presented in a way that's respectful of people's religions.
but I do understand that also in a television show like the Afterlife, in a television show like the Twilight Zone, it does skew towards sort of a Christian perspective. And but again, I don't care how you find your path to God as long as you
It
find it.
it's more non-denominational, at least, is what I'm getting at. Wallace Lang
Mhm.
says the episode and the one called The Hunt, written by Earl Hamner Jr., were two of my mom's favorite Twilight Zone episodes. And I guess
The
we'll
only
get to
thing
that one soon.
The only thing
Yeah,
that is
that's
gonna
coming
stop
up.
me from getting to heaven is the fact that I have questioned
Yes.
the existence of God, and, there's gonna be a moment where he's like, "So" or one of his representatives, Pearly Gates, there's gonna be a person with a quill and a parchment and be like, "Ah, you touched yourself a lot," That's gonna
Mhm.
keep you out, and then it's gonna be like, "So why did you question, your
Well
creator?" And I'm
and
gonna be
and
like, "I don't
that's
know."
those are all questions for you to ask on during Sunday mass, Scotty.
Well,
And I wish I were
yes.
a fly on the wall. Gavin Blackburn, I'm sure dolphins and higher primates understand the notion of death too, as well as the elephants. Yes, I do think so too. I watched a few deer as they have died. They seemed unaware. Yeah, deer, I don't think are aware.
I
Uh,
I
eh,
saw a gopher very, very upset about his own mortality.
oh, wait a minute. Are you talking about Caddyshack?
Yes.
Not
Okay.
not
In my
sure
mind,
how we're going there, but Canadian Spider-Man says, "In my mind, Data lives forever. B4 is used for spare parts."
oh my. Well, yeah. Oh, are you saying Nemesis didn't happen?
Oh, no, but even in Picard season 1,
Oh,
Data says that part of the human experience is the letting go of life.
yeah. The letting go of life. Oh my gosh. That's amazing you remember a quote from Picard season 1.
No, it's actually disappointing to you, but I understand your scorn.
Yeah. Okay. As long as you do understand.
I understand.
What I don't understand is how he was created just from one neuron or neural receptor.
The
That was
details are
ridiculous, stupid. Yeah, okay. As long as we agree on that. And Wallace Ling, it is good to see you today. Animals do go to heaven. Oh yeah, you read this one already, Stone Records. I don't
Well,
know.
you go ahead and read it
Yeah.
again if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah, yeah. Because humans love animals and those are saved by God's grace and have their pets like their children under the canopy of grace. And yeah, that reminds me of the Rainbow Bridge poem.
Yeah.
It's very pretty.
It makes me think of there was a ABC special with John Stossel, or hosted by John Stossel, where he was talking to a number of different children that had near-death experiences, and the more than one child was reunited with lost pets, and I found that very touching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they would see themselves being worked on in the operating room. It'd be an out of body experience, and then
Oh, that I hear that really happens to
then
people.
they'd be in another abode, and they are there with loved ones and also pets that had passed on. So I found that's very comforting for a child. Um, and then another young girl had a vision, a near-death experience, and she saw Christ with all these different children. And she drew the picture of Christ, and he had dark curly hair and was brown, and all different races of children. And I thought that was quite striking.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. That's
Yeah, it's
that
because
sounds like good.
you think of the stereotypical artistic depictions of Christ,
Kenny Loggins.
and he's it's just he's white, and it's like, no, he's brown, you know, and here's this young Caucasian girl, and she has Jesus as a a Jewish man, and all these different children of different races all are with him, welcoming her, and I thought that was the most
Well,
striking one. That
it's
of the people that were the young people that were interviewed. She was talking. She was a teenager when she was interviewed, but this is something that happened to her when she was younger, as I recall. But that's very comforting.
well, and God created man in his own image. And so when you worship, you sort of imagine your image and you project that upon God.
No, not necessarily.
So you imagine Eric's?
No.
Well, no, Eric's is my bodyguard. He's not my he's not my
Well,
God.
Jesus is my homeboy. Why were there
But-
only three
but,
sets
this
of
has
footsteps
gotten-
along the
this-
beach? It's because that's what Eric's was carrying
This,
me.
Oh
this
my
has
goodness.
this has
I
gotten really
know.
theological. So
Yeah.
join us next time for a real sermon by Stone Racket and Scotty R37 as his
To subvert it.
pallbearer. Okay, so
One more pallbearer. Oh, wait a minute. What? No.
oh yeah, that's what I was thinking of a pallbearer for. Why was I making it a funeral? That didn't make sense. I meant to say something else, but I don't know. Like what are they called? Anyway, we've got to go. We've got to go, and I'll see you next time and everything. And thanks to the panel for great discussions on the Twilight Zone, but it's time for me to leave the Twilight Zone and go re-enter the real world and take care of my family and everything. So I hope you guys have a great Tuesday and the rest of your week as we approach Halloween. And so we're going to have a fun Friday. We're going to talk about the Treehouse of Horror episodes, the first 7 of them of The Simpsons. And if we get, I'm pretty sure it'll take the whole time, but if we do have time left over, people can talk about other ones, or people will talk about whatever they want in the chat, and we'll talk. We'll talk along with them. I'm wondering if I should start this one early because it really seems like it's going to be a big one. What do you think? Should I start
Yes.
an hour early? I should. Yeah, I might start it 1 hour early at 10 a.m. Okay, so Scotty, do you have anything you want to share before we head out? Anything going
Well,
on?
yeah, I would say that no, I can't. I was going to do the Norm Macdonald joke about being deeply closeted, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for hanging out, talking about this. This is great. These are 2 episodes of the Twilight Zone that I hadn't seen before, and I thought both were fantastic. They bordered on controversial, but I think that they, even for their time, were sort of empathetic and delightful without the horror aspect. I think that there was I think that this is fantastic, and continuing to go through the Twilight Zone. I couldn't have a better guide than yourself and Stone Racket.
Yes, it was a very healthy way to look at death, which isn't very oftenly seen, and you don't see it too often.
Also,
media,
Phantasmagorium and Cinema Gulp. Let's do it. Yo!
Yeah, Cinema Gulp. Congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. We're going to get you another 9,000, get to 10,000.
Over 9,000.
And thank you for joining us, Stone Racket. Also, I appreciate what you have to say. And is there anything you want to add at the end here?
Well, I just wanted to thank you again, Jill, for allowing me on your live streams and letting me talk a while and go on the occasional tangent. I appreciate that you let me talk a little bit here and there. But thanks again for having me. And I always enjoyed discussing Twilight Zone with you and Scotty and Tiger Stripes and others that hopefully will show up again.
Oh yeah, I would like for Tiger Stripes to show up again,
Yeah.
but she might be busy with stuff and life and things, and
Yeah.
we'll see. Oh, and hey, hello, Latino Slant.
Yeah,
Polly, it's so good to see
Polly's
you
here. Yay.
here. Scotty, one battle after another still sucks. Nice. And so thanks again for everyone being amazing and insightful on the panel and the chat. And I hope to see you again on Friday and then also next Tuesday in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, no.
Learn all that is learnable.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
We don't have to be mean. Because, remember, no matter where you go, there you are.